WA? What the fuck?
No,
I
that's a big
like
one
that
though.
one,
I ain't
bro.
gonna lie. That was a big one though.
All right, let's go. All right, welcome, rated in gang in the building. Welcome to episode 53. I think this is of the rate. Welcome to episode 53. I think this is of the Rated M podcast, bro. We got the whole gang with us, bro. We got Mo here. Chris tried to use his PTO tonight, but we denied that shit. That shit got denied, so he had to bring his ass to work. And we got Lewis here too, bro. Lewis tried to use that shit too, but that shit ain't work either. So y'all don't get y'all PTO, bro. Y'all here for the pod. How are y'all doing? How was collision last week, bro? And yeah,
I'm doing great first and foremost. Uh, Collision though, that was a hell of an experience. Personally, me and Lewis was the highlight of my night because actually no, Jack Perry first, then Lewis. I love you, Lewis, but Jack Perry,
Should have yelled. Man, I should have caught on camera how loud I screamed "fuck" when he came out.
bro, you weren't just oozing with enthusiasm when he came out. When you,
No, what
bro,
the fuck?
when he lifted the AEW World Championship and the TNT title like Roman Reigns, that
And
didn't
he got
move
his
you.
ass whipped like 3 days later. He got his ass whipped like 3 days later. Buddy,
Don't you like?
he put on a back and forth match with Action fucking Andretti. I'm not moved. I'm really not moved. But what up, chat? I mean, obviously, man, Collision was a great time. I met Chris. We had the first I rated them link up. Check out the vlog, by the way. Over 100
Facts.
views. Shout out Mo. You know what I'm saying? For putting that up. It was fun though. It was dope. We saw a lot of people that we were not expecting. Like when Collision ended and Tony Khan told us that he had like the best of the best from New Japan, I thought he was just yapping like he usually does, but no. Like we saw, obviously Shibata's not New Japan; he's AEW now. We saw Shibata,
Right.
saw Shingo, saw
Yeah,
Gabe
yeah.
Kidd,
Hell yeah.
saw so many fucking guys. This shit was awesome,
That shit also ran late though. Like they think motherfuckers don't have work the next day.
bro. We saw Gates of Agony. He was out, bro.
Bro, literally, and as I was walking out, I heard Dark Order's music. I was like, yeah,
Oh
that's it.
man,
That's it.
I don't
fuck
blame
that.
you. I would have walked up out of this
Chris
Fuck
is
bitch.
like,
that.
wait. Chris is like, wait. Let's see who else here in the Dark Order. Yeah, no, 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 no.
Like
Yeah.
time to go. Time to go.
So what Chris and I were talking about, you guys can check it out on the vlog. Is bro, we when you're there, you can understand why Ring of Honor is struggling in the media's eyes. Like you filmed the first two matches before Collision, and then the other 85 matches after it. It makes no sense. Collision should be what main event is. Like not Collision. Ring of Honor should do like what main event does. Like three, 4 matches before the show. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And just cut it off. But if you running it like that, yeah, I can understand why people don't want to stay. What the fuck?
Bro, I don't know why for Ring of
You
Honor.
promised me Billy Starks, and I'm seeing Gates of Agony.
Bro, we
Bro,
didn't
I don't
even
know
get the
why.
fucking
We didn't.
street fight.
Yeah, we didn't get to the street fight.
And you know what's crazy, bro? They gave it to the Bridgeport crowd last night.
That's sick work.
I
Sick
didn't
work.
even stay. I didn't even
Bro,
stay.
I don't know why Ring of Honor, why Tony Khan Ring of Honor, and I've said this before, don't continue to say it. Why Tony Khan for Ring of Honor call up Full Sail University, see what they doing if they down for it. If not, rent out the studio you were using at Universal. Use this rent out the studio you were using at Universal for AW Dark and start taking Ring of Honor there. Make that Ring of Honor's home base. I don't understand why he just doesn't do that. Like
I mean,
I literally don't understand why he doesn't do that.
I will say the matches on Ring of Honor, they weren't bad. They were good. Like like Layla Gray and Athena put on a good match. Shingo, Shingo had a great showing, and like the matches weren't bad. It's just a long show, bro. It's too long. You need to cut it down.
Facts.
Yes, he does.
That's why ringing. Yeah, I agree with Cam, bro. Just give them a home, like they did with Daly's place with AEW in the pandemic.
Bro, tape it at Daly's place. Find a place to find a place to tape Ring of Honor. Find a place to tape it. Instead
Yep.
of just doing it on the road constantly. And like doing these fucking marathon tapings. Like find a fucking place and be like, this is our home base. Bruh, that C2 thing they had in bro, that C2 thing they were doing in Texas. Like I don't think it was a C2 thing, but like they held like for like a month straight they held Collision in like some arena in Texas. It was like a small arena, but like it was perfect. Like the crowd, but it was perfect. Like the crowd was great. The set came off great. Like Collision came off great. I was like, bruh, just make this like the home base for Collision, or like make that the home base for Ring of Honor right there. Like but I don't know what the fuck they doing. So
Hey man,
Long ass show, bro. We got there at like
that's Tony Khan for you.
what, Chris? We got there like 6:45.
Yeah,
Didn't leave until damn near 12.
damn near
oh
12.
hell,
Yeah,
oh hell no.
Y'all niggas went to WrestleMania 35 by accident.
My hell yeah.
it was all worth it though. I drove an hour and a half for Jack Perry.
Oh brother. So all right, so y'all saw the title, man. The main point of the episode: biggest what ifs in professional wrestling history. So how we're gonna do this is each person presents a what if. That person will dive into their what if, explain what they think, and then the rest will be able to, agree or disagree. Um, and yeah, we'll just take turns circling around. We each have two different what ifs. And if we do have time at the end of the show, we can also dive into some what ifs, that we see in the chat. So who wants to start?
Okay, I'll go first.
That
All right. My first wrestling what if is, what if Bray Wyatt beat John Cena at WrestleMania 30? Now, this to me, why the side eye, Lewis?
Tread carefully, because I agree with this already.
All right. Bray Wyatt. Let me preface this by, at the time of WrestleMania 30, by the time they had this match, Bray Wyatt, I believe, was still under a year on the main roster. And he was on WrestleMania against John Cena. You want to establish a star, you put him over. Let's say in an alternate universe, Bray Wyatt beats John Cena. He's seen as a valuable threat, not just all talk. And for Cena, it kind of eases off the whole, Super Cena, I bury all young talent type shit. And it would have made beating Rusev the following year a little more digestible because he got his win back. All right, cool. But Bray Wyatt with a WrestleMania win against John Cena, take that into the feud with the Shield. That gives them a lot more credibility, and it gives Bray Wyatt more credibility to become world champion. Maybe we don't wait until 2017 to get that first one, but yeah, that's what I got. What y'all think?
I agree with you completely. I don't know why WWE felt the need to give Cena that win, especially with the story that they were telling in that match. It was basically a better version of the Rise Above Hate storyline with Kane.
Yeah,
and Bray Wyatt winning could have helped so much because they had beaten the Shield at Elimination Chamber the month before. So just keeping that momentum and letting Bray eventually win the feud could have been a lot for Bray. Cena obviously was already bulletproof at that point. He was facing the company since 2005. Like, him winning that did nothing for him, and it stunted Bray's. I don't think a lot of people think that's the moment Bray Wyatt, the Eater of Worlds character, was ruined. But I don't think, to me, that's not the moment. I think that was the start of the problem.
I'm thinking back to the landscape of WWE in 2014. Ideally, ideally, if Bray Wyatt beats John Cena at WrestleMania 30, I think the obvious feud to do after that would be Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan for the WWE title. Because Bray Wyatt had a pinfall victory over Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. So you can have Bray run that back. But I'm assuming in this timeline, Daniel Bryan still gets hurt. So I think you could have gotten one match out of that, and then I'm assuming he still gets hurt after that. So if he still gets hurt after that, but Bray Wyatt, I mean, after the Cena feud, Bray went into a feud with Chris Jericho. He won that feud. After the Jericho feud, he went into a feud with Ambrose, I think, and he won that one. And then he won that one, and then he did the shit with the Undertaker. I think it would have made the Undertaker stuff a bit more. I think it would have made the Undertaker stuff a bit more credible on Bray Wyatt's part. When Bray Wyatt talking about he's the new face of fear, when Bray Wyatt talking about he's the new face of fear, I think that would have made the Undertaker stuff a lot more credible. And then I'm thinking about what he did afterwards. Brock, he wasn't winning the WWE title around that time because Brock Lesnar was always going to be earmarked for that spot, especially after he broke the streak. And then with the crowd reaction to Roman Reigns being so negative in 2015, I think they still go through with the Rollins cash in. Unless they turn Bray babyface, I don't think they do heel versus heel with Rollins and Bray. So that leaves Bray to run back. So that leaves Bray to go back to feuding with Roman and just if everything, because I'm assuming everything stays the same in the timeline. I don't think Bray Wyatt wins the WWE title until 2017. I still think it's that same time period. I still think it's that same
Really?
time period. Just looking at the landscape back then, Brock Lesnar was always going to win the WWE title, and he wasn't beating Brock. I'm assuming the crowd reaction to Roman Reigns still would have been so negative because WWE didn't know what the fuck they were doing at that time. So Seth still would have, and Seth was still winning Money in the Bank. So Seth still would have cashed in and still would have went down that route. And unless they turn Bray babyface, they're not doing heel versus heel. So, and then just looking at the landscape of WWE at that time, yeah, I don't think Bray Wyatt wins it until 2017 because AJ gets it. They do the stuff with the Shield really. Although to be fair, I think Ambrose only won the WWE title because Roman Reigns got suspended, so they had to get that shit off him. They had to get that shit off him. And then AJ won it. Yeah, I don't think he wins the WWE title again until 2017. So I kind of don't want to say he ends back up in the same spot. I think he's a much bigger star than he is, but I still think he kind of on the roster, not doing a whole lot. Like to be quite honest with you, but I do think it makes the fuse with Jericho and Ambrose and whatever. I think he comes off as a much better name if he has that win over John Cena. He actually wins the feud WWE instead of the bullshit you did. So yeah, that's just me.
What you think, Lewis?
My bad. I was writing down some more shit.
You good?
So with the landscape that WWE was in, if we're assuming Daniel Bryan gets hurt, although I do agree that Bray Wyatt should have beaten John Cena, the landscape gets very, very thin considering what they wanted to do with Brock Lesnar way before, and with him beating the streak, that makes it very hard. Unless you really want later down the road for Bray Wyatt to get into a feud with Brock Lesnar and have Brock Lesnar put over Bray Wyatt, I don't see an issue with that. But I feel like Brock Lesnar, if you want Bray Wyatt to be world champion in this very time frame, I feel like he puts a huge monkey wrench into a lot of plans. So what Brock Lesnar held it, and then Seth ended up beating him, right, for those titles, right, technically.
Yep.
You know what match too? You know what match it was?
Yeah, shut up. So seeing the landscape, I think Cam is right. It might be Elimination Chamber where he probably does win it. But in that time frame, though, Bray Wyatt would have to be one of the most protected guys on the roster too after that because he beat Cena at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree that he definitely should have beaten Cena. Brock, though, he's just too much of an obstacle to just move away on what they wanted to do.
And we're especially talking about a time. Oh, sorry, Lewis. We still going? My bad. Okay. I was gonna say we're talking about a time where Vince McMahon was probably at his most stubborn.
Oh yes.
Like this man, if he had a plan, unless like fans like really revolted against it, he was sticking to that plan.
He was dead set
And
on that plan. He was dead
yep,
set on it.
and Brock Lesnar 100%. I think Bray Wyatt. I don't agree. I don't disagree with what Lewis and Cam have said, but I just think Bray Wyatt would have remained more credible had he won that feud with John Cena.
Right.
Yeah.
So even if he hadn't won the title, he would have been just fine. Because the problem was, it was just that moment right there. It was like, oh, you really should have won that. And it's hard to take you serious after that when you're doing feuds with Dean Ambrose, where you're throwing holograms in Hell in a Cell or whatever. Like, it's hard to take you serious when you're doing that.
Yeah.
And you've lost to John Cena.
To me, bro, that match kind of cemented the fact that I can't really take what you said serious. Like, you can no one's gonna deny his promo ability, the shit that he says, but after that loss, bro, it's like you can say all this, but you can't back it up. You're not credible no more, like you said.
Okay, and like the tack on that, I remember an episode of Raw back in 2014. I think it was John Cena and one member of the Wyatt family. I don't remember who. The match ends. Cena not only takes out Harper with an attitude adjustment, he takes out Rowan with an attitude adjustment. He takes out Bray Wyatt with an attitude adjustment. He takes out this is way after the Bray Wyatt Cena feud. He takes out all three members of them. I think this is when Bray was still feuding with Jericho. He takes out all three members of them with an attitude adjustment. And I'm just like, I like just going back at it. It's just like, what was the point? Like Cena had to take out all three of them. Then, like he had to take out all three of them. Like he had to take out all three of them. And like apparently, like the reasoning behind it from like reports of that time, what I've been able to find is that this would have been when I think this would have been late and up to the Night of Champions rematch with John Cena and Brock Lesnar. Either that, yeah, this would and when John Cena got squashed like a bug. The reasoning behind Vince McMahon having Cena take out all three members of the Wyatt family was because like point reports Vince was like, if you don't do this, the fans are gonna give up on you this time the third. And like John Cena, and like apparently, and like reports are like John Cena backstage kept trying to tell Vince, bro, that's not gonna happen, bro. Like, do I have to take out Bray Wyatt too with an AA? But like Vince was insistent on it, and Cena was like, okay, fine, or okay, fine. If you want me to take out Bray, I'll take him out. It just like went down, like that point right there, like yeah. But like, yeah, Bray Wyatt was like a day. Yeah, Bray Wyatt was just like a. It's like the eater of pens at that point, man. Like, golly, like everybody beat this man.
Eater of pins.
He really was, unfortunately. It's just I don't know, man. Hey, Cena, at least Cena learned from the Nexus shit. He tried.
He
tried.
did try.
He tried, but they didn't listen. But, hey, that's Vince for you. That's a good one. That's a really good one. All right. RIP to Bray Wyatt. So I guess we can just go in order. So for my first one, it's to me maybe WWE's biggest, because it really can change the landscape of what was WWE's biggest era. My first one is, what if the Montreal Screwjob never happened? And they actually went with the original plan of Brett relinquishes the title on Monday, and he goes to WCW. We move on. So there's one aspect of that is you probably don't get the heel Mr. McMahon character, which is either the second most important character of the entire Attitude Era. The biggest rivalry of all time was built around that. You lose a lot of moments in terms of Mr. McMahon as an on TV personality. And also the biggest babyface at the time loses their biggest rival. Austin's biggest rival, wrestler or non-wrestler, was Vince.
Yep.
And a lot of his popularity was based on the fact that he was beating up Vince.
Yep.
So now that you don't have that, because Brett doesn't get screwed and you don't get the Brett screws Brett promo and all that. There's a lot that changes, to be honest. Like the Attitude Era, the attention to WWE shifts. It doesn't get that big boom period. It probably doesn't. They probably don't beat WCW, and maybe at some point Brett comes back sooner.
All right, well, let's.
And maybe Owen wins the world title, but then you also have the aspect with Owen and Austin, so that's a little fuzzy. But yeah, the Montreal Screwjob not happening, I feel like a lot would have changed there.
All right, so let's go. I'm gonna go a bit. I'm gonna go a bit further with this. I'm gonna take this a bit back to explain why Montreal happened in the first place, if you don't mind. All right,
please.
so 96. All right, so 1996. All right, so 1996. Bret Hart. Bret Hart has a contract coming up. Bret Hart has a contract coming up. Him and Vince aren't seeing eye to eye on the deals, or him and Vince aren't seeing eye to eye on the deals. Bret Hart wants to be Bret Hart wants to be compensated like the star he was at that time. Mr. McMahon wants to obviously do that, but he's trying to think about the company because his company's bleeding money to send the third. So anyway, we get to a Raw. I think in November. This is the lead up to the Bret Austin feud. This is the lead up to the Bret Austin feud. Vince McMahon and Bret Hart come to terms on a new contract. Would have been a 20-year deal. Would have been a 20-year contract that would have seen Bret Hart get an office job with WWE when he was done wrestling, and Bret Hart basically would have been in WWE forever. Well, a couple things happened. A couple things happened. As I said earlier, WWE was bleeding money to sign the third, and this led to Vince McMahon going to Bret Hart and going, Bret, I don't have enough money to pay you on your current contract, so I'm going to break our contract, and you have my permission to negotiate with WCW. During this time period, something happens. WWE starts to raise the prices of their in-your-house pay-per-views. They go from about $30 a month, I think, to about they go from 25, $30 a month, I think, to the usual 60 that we pay for pay-per-views now. And I think to the usual 60 that we pay for pay-per-views now, or at least WWE pay-per-views back then. The tide shifts, right? Business starts picking up for WWE again because of this. Vince McMahon goes to Bret Hart and goes, Bret, I got great news. I can pay you now, buddy. So everything I said about breaking our agreement and everything, scratch that. I can pay you now on your contract. Bret Hart tells Vince McMahon, that's great, but I already been negotiating with Bischoff and I just took the deal from him. I want to keep my word. This is when Bret was WWE champion at the time. So basically, that's how the whole screw job came up. And then obviously with Shawn Michaels being a dick at the time and going, well, I'm not gonna put you over. With Bret telling Shawn Michaels, I'm willing to put you over, and Shawn Michaels goes, that's great, because I'm not willing to put you over. Like Bret Hart going, okay, yeah, and going, yeah, okay, yeah, I can't put this nigga over. Oh yeah, I can't put this dude over now. So like that leads up to like the big lead up to it, and like why Montreal was a big deal. If Montreal never happened, I do think Bret Hart comes back to WWE a lot sooner. I think there's a chance he comes back in that 2000, 2001 period because he was completely ruined in WCW by that point. So I think there's a chance he goes back then. Or like, I think he's back in WWE a lot sooner. I do agree with that. Mr. McMahon never happening as a heel character. I agree with that. I agree with that. That never happened. Biggest rival. I agree that Austin was his biggest rival. But WCW winning the war, I don't know about that just because I think WCW and their own incompetence probably would have drove viewers away anyway. Because like they were really, really, really incompetent, like with the whole NWO story this on the third. And like I've gotten on this podcast before, like the NWO was Sting this on the third, like how incompetent they truly were. So like I don't think they won the war just because of Bischoff's own incompetence. But I do think it makes the Attitude Era a lot more interesting. I think WCW dominates just a little bit longer. Uh, yeah, I do think Bret Hart comes back a lot sooner in Montreal. Does not happen. I think Bret Hart comes back a lot sooner, like around 2000, because he was wasted in WCW. And depending on how long that contract was, yeah, I see Bret Hart telling Vince, "Hey Vince, let me come back, man, because Bischoff don't know what the fuck he doing." So like, I can see that. But yeah, I think Bret comes back a lot sooner than he did.
Honestly, man, I agree. And honestly, the nail in the coffin for me was when Mo said that without that happening, you don't get the heel Vince that you got, and you take away moments that you get like Austin aligning with Vince at Mania. the whole Attitude Era as a whole. Like it takes it. Like it probably won't get it probably won't get the attention that it ultimately did. But yeah.
I think Austin in the long run would have been just fine because he's Austin and he was already becoming nuclear. I just don't think he would have had that defining rival until eventually Rock gets hot. Because Rock didn't get hot till late '98.
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, bro, Vince as the like, I mean, I think we can safely agree that he's the greatest villain heel of all time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think it's debatable. I'm sorry.
Everybody loves to see the good, the big bad villain get their ass kicked, and that's a lot of what Vince did.
Yep.
So a lot to do with screw job. If that doesn't happen, I think heel Vince, nah.
But like even beyond that though, like I want to take it like a step further because we know like Triple H in 2000, the McMahon Helmsley regime and all that, him joining the McMahon family. If Vince never becomes an on-screen character, if Vince doesn't become an on-screen character, I think Triple H probably would have risen to the top anyway because he was already competing for the world, or he was already becoming the main event talent in '99 before him and Stephanie even got together. Right, before him and Stephanie even got together, like I think he won the WWE title like before him and Stephanie even got together. So like he was becoming like a main event guy before then. But like how big does Triple H become? Because like the McMahon Helmsley regime and everything, that is a big part of helping Triple H get over to like that main event status in like 2000 and stuff. So like I wonder how that plays out and stuff.
Yeah. What do you think, Lewis? I know you hate Brett, but I mean, shit.
Let's be objective here, Lewis.
They really don't want to go. Look at him.
He's like, fuck this. He's like, this should have happened.
It should have happened.
Oh my god, bro.
It should have happened. It should have happened. I'm not gonna lie to chat. I was in and out because I'm writing. I'm sorry, chat. I'm trying to cook up something nice for y'all.
All good.
But no, that's rude of me. I'm sorry. Yeah, no. Fuck Brett. The fuck? What the hell? And who's arguing that Vince isn't the GOAT heel? Who's arguing that?
I don't. I hope there isn't anybody. I'm never.
There really isn't anybody close to me.
It's just not. Vince never got cheered as a heel. That's all I'm gonna
ever.
Say. So that's all I'm gonna say. Almost everybody else you can name has gotten cheered as a heel. What I will say before we move on to Lewis is what if there is, and I want to make it very clear, I don't believe this. I do think this was a shoot. The screw job I 100% believe was a shoot. There is that group of people that believes it's a work.
I'm looking at you, Scott Hall. Rest in peace. I'm looking at you, Scott Hall.
R.I.P. Scott. But I will say, if it was a work, this is the greatest work in the history of
easily. But there's no, I don't think, nah.
Because if you look at from that promo that Brett cut on Vince, right before WrestleMania 13, and looked at how everything transpired all the way to Survivor Series 97 and beyond, that is, if that's a work, that is the greatest work I've ever seen. No doubt about it.
Speaking of Brett's promo on Vince, frustrated isn't a goddamn word for it. This is bullshit. You screw me. Everybody screws me. Nobody does a goddamn thing about it. Then you got Austin appearing on the Titantron calling Brett a loser, going, "What happened, Brett? What happened? All you had to do was win. It could have been me and you for the title at Mania." But everything about that makes sense, bro. Like if you go back and like watch that cage match, everything about it makes sense. Because like Austin comes out trying to help Brett. Because like Austin comes out trying to help Brett, despite the fact that they're in the middle of like a heated feud. Because if Brett wins, Austin gets the championship match. That match becomes a championship match at Mania. Do you have Undertaker coming out trying to help Sid? Because if Sid loses, Taker doesn't get his WrestleMania title. Taker doesn't get like his title shot anymore. Like, bro, that episode of, bro, 97 WWE was cooking, boy, I tell you.
Yeah, especially early on, they were cooking. All right, Lewis, what's your first one, bro?
My first one is, what if Christian never lost the heavyweight championship? And this is how I would have booked his title run. So, Christian beats Alberto Del Rio at Extreme Rules 2011 to become heavyweight champion.
Hold on, please don't call him Alberto Del Rio. Call him Alberto Del Dipshit,
Bro, I'm
please.
calling him fucking Del Rio, bro. So Christian beats Del Rio at Extreme Rules 2011. And then I would have Christian come out the same way he did on SmackDown and celebrate, but instead I'd have Del Rio interrupt Christian and have Del Rio say, every single time that you face me, you've always had help from Edge. You've never beaten me straight up one-on-one. You can't beat me. So then I'd have Christian say, all right, well, I'll face you tonight and I'll put the belt on the line. So I have Christian versus Del Rio in the main event on SmackDown. And I'll have Christian beat Del Rio just to completely dead the fact that he can't beat Del Rio. So then next week I'll have Christian come out and say that he's going to be a fighting champion and that he'll defend against whoever wants to step up. And that's why I have Randy come out and attack him and turn heel. So I'll have Randy come out, attack him, and turn heel, completely beating the shit out of Christian. And then the next week on SmackDown, I'd have Christian come out and attack Randy, and Randy runs away, and Christian ends up challenging Randy to a match at Over the Limit. Now, I'll have Christian beat Randy at Over the Limit with like a roll-up out of the RKO, type some shit like that, so that way I can keep Randy strong. But I'll have Christian versus Randy at Over the Limit, and I'll have Christian beat Randy. So, and then the next week on SmackDown, I'll have Christian come out, cut a promo, and say, he's wondering who's the next guy to step up. He's wondering who's going to be the number one contender. So on that very SmackDown, I'll have a Fatal 4-Way match. I'll have Randy versus Sheamus versus Mark Henry versus Del Rio, and the winner will face Christian at Capital Punishment. So in the match, I'll have Sheamus hit Del Rio with the bro kick, but I'll have Randy throw Sheamus out so that he steals Sheamus's win because Sheamus is going to come into play. So Randy wins the Fatal 4-Way, and he becomes number one contender, and he faces Christian at Capital Punishment. But I'll have Sheamus complain to whoever the GM was at the time and say, like Randy's lucky because I had the win. So I'll end up having a match on that SmackDown the very next week between Sheamus and Randy, and if Sheamus wins, he becomes a special guest referee at Capital Punishment. So Sheamus wins, and then Christian versus Randy at Capital Punishment ends in a no contest because Sheamus ends up smoking both in the match. He ends up beating both their asses. So I'll have Randy be upset and come out on SmackDown because he's like, yo, like you robbed me of my fucking title opportunity. Like now I have to get at you. So then I'll have the match confirmed on that SmackDown main event, Randy versus Sheamus, and the winner faces Christian at Money in the Bank. So at that point, I'll have Christian come out and attack both Sheamus and Randy with a steel chair and say he doesn't care, he'll take on both if that's what it takes. So I have Christian versus Randy versus Sheamus at Money in the Bank 2011, and I'll have Christian pin Sheamus. Then I'll have Randy come back out on SmackDown the following week and say that he's tired of people getting involved in his matches. He's tired of getting screwed out of the world title. He never had a true one-on-one since Capital Punishment, and that was ruined by Sheamus. So he wants a legit one-on-one. So I have Christian come out and tell Randy, like, listen, like we've been going back and forth for a couple months now. We've been fighting so much. I'll give you the match that you want at SummerSlam, but if you lose, you're never gonna face me again. And I have Randy accept. But one thing I forgot to mention, I'm sorry, I'm fucked. One thing I forgot to mention: Mark Henry wins Money in the Bank. That's what I forgot to mention. Mark Henry wins Money in the Bank. Hall of Pain. He's destroying everybody in Money in the Bank ladder match, and he becomes Money in the Bank winner. So keep in mind, it's gonna come into play. So Christian ends up facing Randy Orton at SummerSlam. Christian beats Randy. My fault. Christian beats Randy at SummerSlam, and before Christian can really celebrate, I'll have Mark Henry come out and beat the shit out of Christian and cash in to become world heavyweight champion. So then I'll have Christian invoke his rematch clause at Night of Champions, and in a straight up match, I'll have Henry beat the dog shit out of Christian, invoking Hall of Pain is finally here. That's how I would have booked Christian's world heavyweight title run.
Wow, I like it. I like it. I think it
fucking
keeps
cooked.
Christian. I think it keeps Christian as a credible main eventer for whenever you need him, especially on the SmackDown end. It makes Edge's relinquishment of the title mean something because he literally drops it and then has a fucking 2-day reign to follow it.
Technically
Like,
5.
Stop it. Stop it. But you're right. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, it keeps Christian credible, and you can always give him back the title anytime. Instead of having him be bitched by Randy Orton for what, 6 months? Was it?
Yeah.
And then the fact that Christian doesn't have a single pinfall win for a world title in WWE is ridiculous.
I think
Never won it with the kill switch.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say he never won with the kill switch. Crazy.
I think in terms of Christian, I think if they actually let him have a championship reign with it, it would have kind of proved that not that he couldn't already, but it would have, to the fans' view, he was at Edge's level. Like he could hang. Like Edge would have never had a problem with this. But I feel like people always favored Edge over Christian, and having this happen kind of drove it into the ground even further. I don't know why Vince never seemed to care for Christian.
That man did not like Christian. I'm sorry to cut
I
you off,
mean,
Chris, but that man
no, you're
did
good.
not like Christian at all. Like that man did not like Christian at all. Like if y'all like if you heard the Blue Dot story with Christian,
No.
Yep.
would have been in.
They wanted Vince wanted to
Blue
put a blue
dots.
dot on his head, on his face every time he was on TV.
Why?
Vince thought Christian was ugly, so he wanted to put a blue dot on Christian whenever
But
Christian.
why do you have him employed to your company?
And you rehired him
God.
too. And you
I don't know.
rehired
It's just insane to me that it's like someone, as talented as Christian was never seen as a world champion caliber guy after 2011. Like he was really only in like mid-card shit.
I got a lot of what is for Christian. What if Christian feuded with John Cena for the WWE title in 2005?
Like he was supposed to.
Like he was supposed to before Vince McMahon.
Inserted Chris Jericho.
Before Vince McMahon said fuck that. What if when Christian came back in 2009? What if they went through with the original plan of Christian being the one of Christian coming back and helping Edge beat Jeff Hardy at the Rumble instead of doing the bullshit they did where Matt Hardy turned on Jeff Hardy and they sent Christian over to ECW. Y'all ever heard of that one? Like, y'all ever heard of that one? Like, that was the plan. The plan was gonna be to do a Christian Jeff Hardy feud, and Matt Hardy would have got the ECW title push. Christian got on SmackDown, but plans leaked. Plans leaked, and WWE got petty. So they flipped the script on that one. So what if that one would have happened? But I like the world title one. I do. I like the world title one. I do. The one issue I have with that is Mark Henry won Money in the Bank. I got no issue with it. I still would have had Daniel Bryan win Money in the Bank and just have like Mark Henry be like the monster heel, like beat Christian for the title at Night of Champions anyway. Because I kind of like Bryan winning Money in the Bank because I like the heel arc we got with Bryan, where like after he won Money in the Bank, he became
I hate
like
the fucking ending.
After Bryan won Money in the Bank, he became like a chicken shit, and we got that really good heel run from like 2012. So I like. Look, I'm not. I like. I'm not. I
So
like
can
that.
I explain my thought process with Mark Henry winning Money in the Bank? So when I was writing the script out, I understand he doesn't need it, but my whole thing when I threw Money in the Bank on him is how can I start Hall of Pain off with a bang? And to me, there was no better situation than having him beat the shit out of 5 other fucking guys, killing them. Like, have one of the most dominant showings to a Money in the Bank ladder match we've ever seen. that's what I would have done to kickstart Hall of Pain. So the Money in the Bank was kind of just give it to him, but that was my purpose. Like this show how crazy this motherfucker's gonna be. And now you got a monster of a man with the Money in the Bank briefcase. You just give him a layup at that point. But no, I understand.
No,
Man,
I
Mark
like
Henry
Mark
even
Henry winning
scarier
Money
on
in the Bank.
SmackDown.
Well,
It made him even scarier.
that, that Hall of Fame run for Mark Henry, my God, that is such a great run, man. I hate that he got hurt mid run. That was such a. I hate that he got hurt
Mark
right in the
Henry
middle of it.
too. He
That was
proved
such a
during
great.
that time. He proved during that time he was a pretty good mic worker too.
Yeah, I was gonna say
He
that.
was
Yeah,
pretty good on the mic too. So like,
Mark,
if they really should have started pushing him a long time ago, but
yes,
they only just
boy,
saw him
Mark,
as that monster that gets beat up.
Mark Henry coming out with that mic work. Yes, well, y'all remember when Mark Henry used to make his entrance? Y'all remember when Mark Henry used to make his entrance? How they used to show him coming from the back.
Yes.
He's augmented style, bro.
Yes.
And like if Mark Henry saw like a fan in the crowd or like a replica title, Mark Henry would start jawing up and going, "Yo, Spade, Bond's real!" Like all that shit. Oh my God, bro. Mark Henry, boy, Mark Henry, that man, Night of Champions. He was like, and I ain't sharing it with none of you. You don't deserve this. Like, bro, Mark Henry was, oh my God, bro. Damn, Mark Henry was the man in 20.
Generational
He was the
fumble. Not
man,
gonna
bro.
lie. All right, Cam, what's yours, bro?
My what if? I got a non WWE what if, but I think this still could have affected WWE in a lot of ways. Let's go back to the year 2001. Let's go back to the year 2001 where WCW had their last ever, right, where WCW shut its doors for good. For those of you that don't know, for those of you that don't know, the main reason why WCW went out of business is because they lost television. Right? It's because they lost their television deal. Eric Bischoff had a plan in place Eric Bischoff had a plan in place with a group of investors to buy WCW and relaunch WCW. He was going to buy it, take it over, and he was going to relaunch it. Right? And he was going to relaunch it. But Jamie Counter comes in, and Jamie Counter is like, I don't like wrestling. So, and Jamie Counter comes in, and Jamie Counter's like, I don't like wrestling. So, WCW, you got to go. And once the television deal went away, Bischoff's investors thought WCW was a dead brand without that television deal. Let's say Jamie Counter doesn't come into power, and Eric Bischoff is able to successfully buy WCW and is able to relaunch it, giving them more years. What if WCW doesn't go out of business, or what if they are still around today? Now, I think the biggest thing that happens is I don't think this affects WWE, but I do think this affects another promotion. I hate to say it because I know Lewis loves them. I don't think TNA exists today if WCW doesn't go out of business. The whole reason being, I know Lewis looking at me like, but the whole reason being, TNA was formed right by Jeff Jarrett and Jarrett's. TNA was formed primarily because once WCW went out of business, Jeff Jarrett knew that he was not going to get his job back in WWE. So Jeff Jarrett formed his own. Jeff Jarrett formed his own wrestling promotion, TNA. If WCW is still in business, I don't think Jeff Jarrett goes out his way to go, I'm going to start my own wrestling promotion. So I don't think TNA and that thing ever happens. Or if it does, it happens much later on. But I don't think TNA effectively happens. I don't think TNA effectively happens. So that's that. Also, I think the Monday Night Wars probably would have been over by that point. I mean, it was already over, but I think it was already over. But I think they would have been over, and I think they would have moved from Monday nights to a different night because by that point the war was because by that point the war was basically already over. And I think names like AJ Styles, who was in WCW beforehand, I think we see AJ Styles rise up the power or whatever. I think he does it with WCW though. If they're still around. So like, but yeah, I think that's like the biggest takeaway here. I think that's like the biggest takeaway here. Like, I don't think TNA exists, and I think WCW and WWE is a lot more interesting. I think the Monday Night War is done, obviously, but I think it's a lot more interesting if WCW is still around today. It's still around today, which it sucks that they're still around today. So I think that's the biggest. I think those are some of the biggest implications. But what you guys think?
I honestly, I thought you cooked because I didn't even think about the TNA part. Like, we could be talking about like a fucking transition in wrestling history. Could you imagine the talent that could have went over to WCW had it lived on, and the matches that we would have lost from TNA had Jarrett not have to make the company?
Yeah. I'm just thinking about like the different, like the invasion angle probably never happens.
Right.
You never get a lot of these like Booker T. You probably never get a King Booker. You never get like a. Oh man, there's so many different layers to this with WCW still being around today. I think WWF probably still has somebody they look at as competition at that time. Because I think the biggest downfall with WWE, especially when WCW went away, was the fact that they didn't have any real competition anymore. And we all know when WWE has competition is when they're at their best.
Can you
Almost
imagine?
every time.
Can you imagine the amount of talent WCW would have stole from Ring of Honor in that time frame in 2001? Would have stole a lot. We would have seen Samoa Joe in WCW. We would have seen potentially CM Punk in WCW. Potentially would have seen a lot of guys.
Damn, that's a really good one.
Imagine that. Samoa Joe, CM Punk in WCW. And we gotta remember too, in the early 2000s, like even though WCW's heart and soul was the cruiserweight division, TNA really put high flying, and the entire X division really did on the map. So you take that away, like I don't know, it's tough because guys like AJ became a main eventer because of the X division. So AJ starting over in WCW, it's rough. Guys like Samoa Joe became so amazing because of the X division. Right? It's rough. A lot of the guys we like from TNA probably not elite now if they were in WCW.
And think of the names that could have potentially even left the WWF and went over to WCW. That could have continued. That would have continued.
No, right.
Like guys like Christian, like we were talking about before, probably would have went over to WCW.
Could have gotten his opportunity a lot quicker.
Yeah,
probably would have gotten his opportunity a lot quicker. Like Christian,
WCW would have been a bigger company than what TNA was in like 05, 06, 07. So, yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Hell yeah.
Wild shit, bro. And then we know eventually it's usually a common thing for wrestlers on top from one company jump ship to another company. So, like, there's always a possibility of top stars from WWF jumping over to WCW. Top stars from WCW jumping over to WWF because they already reached the pinnacle.
Mm-hmm.
You got the loyalist, though. I don't think Undertaker would make the jump because WCW gave up on him too fast. So
I don't think Taker.
But I think a guy like Kane, the way he was treated, I think he would make a jump to WCW if they would probably book him right.
I think Kane was too loyal by them. But yeah, I don't think Taker would have made the jump. I don't think Taker would have made the jump. I don't think Austin would have made the jump. I don't think Rock would have made the jump. Michaels, Shawn would have made the jump. Triple H would have made the jump.
No.
Cena, obviously not. But
I don't know. I don't know because you really got to think about the entire landscape changing because Cena was going to get fired.
Right.
Yeah.
That is true.
So we can't necessarily say no to Cena because WCW knocking on that door like, hey, we got a mean bag and we see potential in you. Cena probably like, and he was out the door. He was damn near out the door. They told me it was going to fire him before Dr.
He was ready. Yeah. He was ready for it.
Bro.
We could talk about Randy when they took the world title off him. People thought he was cooked. They thought he wasn't ready to be on that level yet. Yes. So imagine Randy gets a call from WCW like, listen, bro, see that.
We know the legacy, bro. Come on over.
I don't know, man. I feel like WCW changes, like ruthless aggression era changes, because WWE think differently how they would book. So
maybe they keep the Attitude Era going. Maybe we don't even get the Austin heel turn.
Yeah.
Bruh, I hope we have time after this because I got another what if I really want to dive into. And this features TNA. And if Lewis knows what I'm talking about with him being the diehard TNA fan in here, I think he'll
It's
have a
better
field
than
day with this
AEW.
one. I think he'll have a
But
field day with this one. But like I can't, bro. I hope we get time at the skill break because that's another one that involves TNA like the entire landscape changing that I really want to dive into. But like, all
I'm
right,
really
Chris.
thinking how much the wrestling world would have changed if WCW was still here. Because then WCW and WWF, like if if nobody really won, I feel like they'd be teetering on free agents.
Mm.
Imagine that. Wow.
I mean, talk about a butterfly effect, bro. Like, would we even see AEW today?
No.
yeah, there'd be no need for AEW
Right.
because
Yeah,
there's already another big name in town.
Mm-hmm.
Because
If
like WCW and WWF are literally even in WCW's dying days. Sure, quality wise, WWF was here, WCW was here, but in terms of name value, WCW was and WWF are right there.
Right.
they were there, they were there. So you got to think. You got to think about OVW as well. Like landscape changes a lot, a
Yeah.
yes.
fuck ton.
Who knows if Brock Lesnar in 04 he leaves and goes to WCW because they give him less dates because that was one of his biggest problems.
It's so crazy to think that Brock Lesnar said if you can give me the same when he told Kurt Angle if you can get me the same salary you're making in TNA that I'd go over there, and they said no. That's crazy.
That's so stupid.
Chris, you heard about that story?
Mm-mm.
So Kurt Angle told a story about a year ago how when Brock Lesnar left WWE, he heard what Kurt Angle was making in TNA, and he told Kurt Angle because I think Kurt was making a little over $1 million, and he told Kurt Angle like, "Hey, if you can get me that salary you're making, I'd sign to TNA." And Kurt Angle went to management and all that, and they told him no, and Brock ended up going to UFC.
How you gonna tell
Uh,
Brock
bruh.
Lesnar no?
That's
Bro,
so
speaking
stupid to
of-
me.
What?
If you have Kurt and Brock, oh my God, TNA
Bro,
would have.
That's a what if right there, dog.
Lewis, bro, I wonder if you heard Lewis. I wonder if you've heard this one. You've heard the
What?
Paul Heyman story with TNA, right? How Paul Heyman was,
Yeah.
how TNA how TNA wanted to bring in Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman was like, "I'll do it," but like Paul Heyman was like, "I'll do it," but like the one request I have is like you fire like everybody that's over like 40 years old, and you
Yeah,
fire everybody that's
get rid of
over
all the
40,
old guys.
You keep one. And like Dixie
Crazy
Carter
how
didn't want
40
to
is the
do it,
new
so, like,
norm
Paul-
now.
Yo, facts.
40,
Right.
40 means you got a good chance of a second prime in you nowadays.
Yep.
Honestly.
Or 40 means you just hitting your prime.
I was gonna
Like,
say
yeah,
you in your
yo.
prime. I mean, you talk about like people like Damian Priest. Shit.
Man,
Shit.
it's crazy.
Now, Cam, I don't know if you know this, but another what if, it's a quick what if. So I don't know how many diehard TNA fans in here, but AJ Styles really cemented himself as the face of TNA when he beat Jeff Jarrett at Hard Justice 2005.
Oh, we talking about Monty Brown. Yep.
That was supposed to be Monty Brown.
Yep.
So if I remember correctly, Jeff Jarrett was on this run as NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and this was when all the WCW guys really needed a job to make money or whatever, and Jeff Jarrett, was bringing them all in. He was bringing in Nash and all these other motherfuckers, Savage, Hall. He was bringing in everybody. Within that, he was getting into main event program with these guys. And Monty Brown was supposed to be the solidified face of TNA. But every single time a WCW guy got signed, they got put into a main event program with Jeff Jarrett, further backing Monty Brown's push. And Jeff Jarrett ended up telling Monty Brown, like I read somewhere they sat on a bench at Universal, whatever, after a show. And Jeff Jarrett heard that ECW offered Monty Brown a contract. WWE offered a contract for him to be an ECW superstar. And Jeff Jarrett was like, "Yo, like Monty, I promise you're gonna be champion. You're gonna be the face of this company. I just need you, to just wait a little bit longer." And Monty Brown said, "Well, I've already waited long enough. I've waited too long. There's a big money deal waiting for me. I'm gonna take it." So they had to think fast, and that's where they completely went full on ballistic on AJ Styles, and he beat Jeff Jarrett at Hard Justice 2005. But that wasn't supposed to be AJ. That was supposed to be Monty Brown.
Imagine the shift in AJ's career.
Facts.
Imagine the shift to Monty Brown's career.
Yeah, like he'd be way more talked about than he is now.
Damn.
Now people just talk about him as a great theme song.
That theme song is great. Oh my god, that theme song is great.
It is really good.
Smooth. Bro, that Monty Brown theme song is a banger. Oh, boy. Oh, that Monty Brown theme song is a banger. I swear it is.
That definitely is.
Crazy work, man. Crazy work. And then he ended up going
Good
to
ones,
ECW, not used, and
At
retired.
all.
Retired.
Yeah.
He retired.
Didn't he retire because didn't he retire to be like a family situation or something?
I
like
think
that?
somebody in his family died, and he took everybody in.
Damn.
If I remember correctly, he's like some sort of fitness coach or some shit like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I always wonder what happened to him after ECW.
Tough, man. I have so many. If we talk about match outcomes, what if Pope beat AJ at Lockdown? What the fuck? Fuck you, TNA, for not making that happen. You ain't have Pope beat AJ at Lockdown. Go look at that match in that environment. There's absolutely no way you tell me AJ should have beaten Pope. Hell no. Pope should have been TNA heavyweight champion. Thank you. Abyss, another one. How come he never held the belt? Huh? What the fuck, TNA?
Now, come on, let's respect Joseph Park, please.
Joe Parks was my.
Bro, Monty Brown is Tarzan Maivia. No troll, like charismatic as shit.
What?
He's Tarzan Maivia.
Tarzan Maivia, is that even English?
Bro, no, what I mean by that is the dude, he talks like Maivia, but he uses animal references and stuff like that in his promos. He's Tarzan Maivia. Chat, y'all know what I'm talking about. He Tarzan Maivia. Look at his promos. He's
That is
Tarzan
the
Maivia.
funniest shit I think I've heard all day, bro.
Chat, go watch Monty Brown promos. He's Tarzan Maivia. He's literally Tarzan Maivia.
You're stupid.
He's Tarzan Maivia, bro.
Bro, what? But no, I get what you're saying now. That makes sense when you explain it.
I'm just
You
saying.
just say it's like what?
Instead of
When you
saying, bro,
explain it.
instead of saying Maivia in third person, his thing was the alpha male. You can't step up to the alpha male. I'm the alpha male. Yeah, the alpha male gonna run shit on you, and then he would talk about his moveset like you gonna get hit with the pound. That's how.
Oh
he would
my
say
god,
it.
the pounds!
Bro. I'm trying. He's Tarzan Maivia, bro. He's Tarzan Maivia.
Jesus Christ.
Animal references, bro. King of the jungle.
I will say for our first
Monty
round
Brown
of
was
what
it.
ifs,
Monty Brown was Himothy, bro.
I will say for our first round of what ifs, that was great. There was a lot of shit I wasn't even thinking about. Like those were really good. All
Let's
four.
get obvious ones out the way. What if Shinsuke beat AJ? Fuck you, Vince. What if Asuka beat Charlotte? Fuck you, Vince.
I'm okay with that one.
What if Finn never got hurt?
Bo.
What if Finn never got hurt? Fuck you, injuries.
Well, Chris.
Spoiler alert, everybody.
Right.
Beautiful segue.
Oh
So,
shit, that's you. I'm sorry.
That's me. No, you good.
No, that's actually a really good segue.
It's a popular one anyway. But
What if Seth never turned on the Shield and it was Roman instead? Huh? Who knows?
Roman.
Let me stop.
I don't think I've ever thought about that.
That's not even mine. I
saw someone do a rebooking of that on YouTube. It was a pretty good rebooking too.
Go ahead, Chris.
But yeah, y'all heard it, bro. My second what if is what if Finn Balor never got hurt at SummerSlam 2016. Now you guys got to understand, you got to understand that at the time, they were really pushing Balor as that guy.
Yeah.
He pinned Roman Reigns on the debut episode of Raw post draft.
Yeah.
He pinned Roman Reigns clean.
Yeah.
And then he pinned Seth Rollins at the pay-per-view. If Finn Balor comes out of that match healthy, I genuinely think I don't think he has a long reign initially. I think Seth will want his get back. He'll beat Seth. I think even Roman will want his get back eventually. He'll beat Roman. Now, this is the biggest part to me. He does all of this not as the demon. He does it as human form Finn. That's the way you do it. Now, this is an extreme hot take. I don't know. I might catch smoke for this. If Finn doesn't get hurt, I don't think, especially with the demon, not that you need it, but I don't think that you need to reach your hand into the Brock Lesnar cookie jar as often as they did. I think Brock definitely could have helped elevate Balor more, put him over. I think if I had to pen, I would have maybe you let Brock get the win first, and then maybe Balor gets the win back at Mania, something like that, to the bigger picture. But I think something along the lines of that is definitely plausible. I don't necessarily agree that he still would have been in the same boat he's in now. Sure, he could have dabbled in the mid card. Not everybody's always going to be in the main world title picture, but I definitely think he would have benefited from it more, obviously. But injuries just suck, and it's just kind of just casts a shadow on him that he was injury prone to management, and management just seemed to just never really want to pull the trigger again. And if I remember correctly, it was a while. It was a while after he came back from that injury that he got his rematch. No,
It was. I remember this because it was my birthday. It was the night after SummerSlam 2018 when Roman beat Brock for the first time. Was where he finally got his rematch.
Right. So that shows you right there, like what they thought of him. But yeah, man, that's my what if. What y'all think?
Bro, I'm so glad you brought this up because this was something that really bothered me at the time of it happening. Like in real time, like Finn Balor's injury and the way they treated him when he came back. Like they didn't treat him bad. I don't want to say they treated him
No.
bad,
Yeah, right.
but it was like I don't think people grasp Finn Balor, I think, had the quickest rise to the top of any main roster debuting superstar ever.
Mm-hmm.
Quicker than Brock Lesnar, quicker than Kurt Angle, quicker than anybody you can quicker than anybody you can name. He had the quickest push to the very top of the company that we've ever seen. And because of one injury, they took that away from him. Some people say that he would have been. Cam and I have had this discussion, so I'm going to just say Cam. Cam thinks that he would be back in the spot he's currently in now. Me, I think the thing is he's in the spot he's in now because of how he was treated for so many years. He was just treated as like he couldn't even beat Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title. Seth constantly beat him clean for that title. Granted, Seth's run was incredible, so I'm not mad at it. But my thing is, without the injury, I think outside of Roman, Seth, AJ, and Brock, I think Finn Balor could have been right there in the main event with them. Easily could have been, and he also could have been somebody that you can use him as a baby face, and somebody you could use as a heel whenever you needed it. Because we've seen him do both, and he's aced it both times. So it's just that injury makes me mad. Like that's the one part of Seth Rollins' career I hate him for. That's the one part. I'm like, God damn it, Seth. Because Finn Balor, I loved Finn Balor in 2016. I hate what happened to him. But I'm gonna let the other guys attack it.
All right. I think Finn Balor would have ended up in the exact same spot he's in now. I think Vince McMahon would not have. This is just me. I don't think Vince McMahon. I think Vince McMahon would have honestly looked at him the same way he looked at a guy like Jeff Hardy in 2021, which is there was a report that came out in 2021, 2022, somewhere around that time period. There was a report that came out around that time period because we were asking, why isn't Jeff Hardy in like the main event scene? Like, why isn't Jeff Hardy doing much on television? A report came out at that time. I don't remember this is Fightful or who, but a report came out at the time saying that Vince McMahon looks at Finn Balor the way he looks at Jeff Hardy, which is he's a quality veteran to have on the roster, but he doesn't see him as a mid-card, but he doesn't see him as a main event talent. That was Jeff Hardy after Jeff Hardy came back, and Jeff Hardy already proven And Jeff Hardy I had already proven I can be one of the big stars in this industry. That was then. That was in 2021, 2022 that report came out that Mr. McMahon felt that way about Jeff Hardy.
Real quick, before you continue, Cam, I will never forgive WWE for never running Jeff Hardy versus Roman Reigns.
I should have ran.
That is one of my biggest dream matches, and I will never get it, and I'm sad. Go ahead, Cam.
They should have ran it. They should have ran it. They really should have ran it. But like that was the report coming out at the time that Vince McMahon saw Finn Balor in the same light he did Jeff Hardy, which is which is a quality veteran to have on the roster that he doesn't see as the main event talent. And we've seen people like Sheamus come in and get the same, and we've seen people come in like, and we've seen people like Sheamus come in and get the. Houston, I like that. Maybe Nikita wouldn't suck as much as she does.
So
now.
for our audio listeners on Spotify and Apple, by the way, go ahead and follow on there, guys. Someone in the chat, Tristan in our chat says, Cam, what if Nikita Lyons never had knock knees? Jesus Christ.
She got them Kevin Nash knees. That's what she got. She got them Kevin Nash knees. That's 25.
Click.
Oh my god. Okay, but anyway. Sorry, but like like Sheamus was a guy that came in, beat Cena for the WWE title. Sheamus has had all these feuds with a bunch of people. Sheamus, I don't think was ever looked at as like a true headline main event guy. Like he's been in the main event scene, but like I don't think people have ever looked at Sheamus as like he's a true headline guy. You know, he's been in the main event scene. I think Finn Balor probably would have ended up in that same position. I think he would have ended up in that exact same spot. I don't think Finn Balor would have been this constant presence in like the main event scene, or like he would have been there with like John, or he would have been there with like Roman, Seth, Brock. I just don't. I think Vince McMahon probably would have. I think Vince McMahon would have done his little experiment with Finn Balor, and I think after Vince ran the Finn Balor experiment, I think Vince McMahon would have gave up on him. I think Vince McMahon probably would have gave up on him, or he would have just threw Finn Balor into the exact same spot he's in now. And like to be fair, Triple H is in charge of WWE now. And like we all expected Finn Balor is going to get like this rock star pushing the Triple H. Finn Balor is still kind of in the same position he's in now under new management. So like, I think Vince McMahon would have ran the Finn Balor experiment. And I think after the Finn Balor experiment would have been over, Finn still would have had a spot on television, but he would effectively be in the same role he's in now.
Here's why I vehemently disagree. I think Vince believed in Finn so much that he pushed him to the top so quick. And if he hadn't got hurt, I think Finn Balor, especially with the demon character, would have been pushing merch crazy. He would have been printing them money. So like,
if Finn Balor would have, I'm sorry to cut you off, Mark, but
no, you're good.
If Finn Balor would have been moving merch like crazy, because like we know the one thing to do to like get a push in WWE, to like to catch Vince McMahon's attention, move merch.
Just move money.
Put some merch, move some money. If Vince McMahon sees that you pushing merch, moving money, that man gonna push you because that man likes money. Yeah. So like if the demon stuff would have like caught on and like they would have been pushing that merch or whatever, I think Vince McMahon would have been like, I think that probably would have kept Finn Balor on top if like that thing takes over. Because like with Kevin Owens under Vince McMahon, because like with Kevin Owens under Vince McMahon, I think Kevin Owens has had like a bunch of T-shirts. Part of the reason why Kevin Owens gets like 857 new shirts because that man moves merch. It's because that man moves merch. Like he has to be with all the shirts he gets. So like,
yeah, I think my thing is with Finn. I don't think he would have. Where I do agree with you is I don't think he would have been on the level of a Roman, Brock, Seth. I think he would have been on the tier, treated on the tier right under that, where he'd basically be what Kevin Owens is now, where he's like you can use him whenever you need in the main event, but I don't think he'd be like a multi-time. Granted, Kevin Owens is a multi-time main event, but I'm saying I don't think Finn Balor would have been like, oh, he's the face of the company, WrestleMania main eventer every single year. I don't think he would have been that, but it could have easily been like what Kevin Owens is, maybe even less. But I'm gonna let Lewis attack it too.
Why the fuck this man had to get hurt, bro? I hate this shit, bro. Man,
That's how I felt, bro.
he still has the greatest push out of any NXT superstar immediately.
Ever.
We never seen anything like it. So even the history he made, like being the only man to win the world title in his pay-per-view debut, that shit was crazy.
Chat is cooking Nikita Lyons right now. Oh my god.
Shout out Nikita Lyons.
Yeah, let me stop.
Hopefully, you didn't watch the match on Tuesday.
I regretfully watched it today, and oh my, worse than y'all made it out to be. Worse. Anyway, go ahead, Lewis. Sorry.
I don't know that shit. Why the fuck he had to get injured, bro? That shit's trash. I mean, bro. It would have he would have been one of the greatest of all time, no doubt about it. But
probably, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Matt Thunder. I was gonna ask you, what is that profile picture? Hold on, let me bring it up, bro. What the fuck
is that Kozlov?
That's crazy work.
That's funny. That's funny.
I knew it. I knew it.
Well done. That's funny.
I knew you were a super fan.
I hate you. That was funny. All right, cool. Finn, yeah, man. God damn it, WWE. Finn Balor was. You brought him back up after he revived himself and still fucked it up. God damn it. Anyway, I'll move on. I'm still mad about it. Someone said Vladimir Kozlov. Yeah, I'm cooked.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm cooked.
Okay, I love
all right, so my next hot take would be, what if John Cena turned heel in his prime? There were two perfect points to do it,
Cam,
in my opinion.
Big ass head, Cam. I tell
what
you
the
that.
fuck?
Cam, you got a big ass head. You got a big ass head, Cam. I'm sorry. I couldn't go out the rest of the show without saying it. You got a big ass head, Chad.
Jesus Christ.
Chad, he has a big ass. His head look like a push pop. Chad, you got a big ass head, Chad.
Lewis, are you zooted, bro?
No, I don't smoke. You know this.
Respect.
But big ass head. I'm sorry. I had to let it out.
That was hilarious. All right.
Nikita Lyons.
Wow. The left knee is crazy. All right. She got both knee issues. Anyway,
Cheat.
all right. So what if John Cena turned heel? Let's get back on track. Now that I think about it, I think there are three very good points you could have turned John Cena heel. First one was when the Nexus was around and have him take over. Two, and the next two are when he faced Lewis's least favorite person on the planet. Easily could have turned him heel after WrestleMania 28. Easily could have turned him heel after WrestleMania 29. And I think 29 would have been really good. 28, I think if he had turned him then, I think you could have used him as, okay, CM Punk. Imagine face CM Punk, heel John Cena in the summer of 2012. You're printing money. So, like, imagine John Cena turned heel on The Rock after he had beat him. And that's how you justify the rematch instead of putting a title on it and all that bullshit. Because that was the plan anyway. You could have had Punk probably gets his main event. Punk probably doesn't have to lose to Rock. Like, there's so much different there. John Cena gets in the eyes of the fans that hated him so much at that time, he gets a restart. He gets a refresh. He gets to even probably cement his GOAT status even more. For a lot of people, he's already the GOAT. Imagine him having an elite heel run. Like, he would probably be the GOAT to a lot more people than he already is. I think you could have built a lot more star. I do hear this narrative with John Cena, which I think is unfair, that there weren't other stars built when he was on top. which is fucking ridiculous. But I think you could have built even more top baby faces around a heel Cena, like you have with a heel Roman Reigns. And then also imagine like he taking over him taking over the Nexus in 2010 after he had beat them.
I love that
Imagine
idea.
that. Imagine.
That's an idea I actually had.
I love that. But I don't let you guys.
Mo, there was something you said there about Cena as a heel getting or Punk rather possibly getting his Mania main event. Mm-hmm. I think with the domino effect there, I don't think Punk leaves WWE. I think he stays.
Yep.
Yeah.
That to me, I realized that as soon as you said that, I'm like, bro, think about it.
Like Punk, a big part of him leaving was not getting that Mania.
Yes, bro. On back-to-back years, bro. Especially at 29 when his match was the best match on the fucking card.
29 100% should have been his main event.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. There's no need for back-to-back.
28, I understand why he didn't main event that year. Yeah. But come on, bro.
29 should have that Raw match Punk and Cena had on Raw.
That was fantastic.
That should have been the main event right there. But I want to tackle your point, Mo. You said Punk when he got his WrestleMania main event.
Yeah,
I think Cena has come out and said at the time that the original plan was he was going to go heel after that feud during that feud with Rock. The plan was Cena was going to go heel, and I think Cena has said that the plan was they're going to build Sheamus up as the face of the company, which would have been a disaster. That Punk it would have been a disaster. Sheamus is the face of the company in 2012. I love Sheamus, but that would have been a disaster.
Nobody believed him believed in him at that time, especially with the Daniel Bryan thing. Nobody liked him.
Yeah, but that was the plan anyway. They were gonna turn Cena heel and have Sheamus be like the face of the company. But Vince McMahon got cold feet, so John Cena never went heel. Cena goes heel in 2012. I think Punk and Cena, I think that's the top feud for WWE. I think that's the money program they run. Imagine Punk Cena. Imagine the next summer where they do Punk. Imagine the next summer they do Bryan and Cena. Like imagine the next time they do Bryan still gets that big.
And that's how you get the face turn start going again. You can turn them back then.
Yep. Like. Damn, man! I wish you would have got that job.
Bro, he's already the GOAT to me. But imagine a solidified great heel run. I get it, Lewis. Taker's right there with him, but Lewis's face is killing me. It's killing me. But yeah, imagine a great heel run. He would easily be the GOAT to me. I go back and forth with him and Taker a lot.
Yep. Oh, and for all the people that still think a John Cena heel turn gonna happen or they fantasy bucket,
that's done. That's cooked.
Let it go.
That's cooked. Sorry,
it's over with, bro. Move on.
That is cooked.
Let it go.
Let it go, people. That is cooked. But yeah, that is my what if. I don't know if I said hot take earlier. Someone.
Yeah, you said hot take.
No. You're good.
Oh, I did. Okay, yeah, my bad. Sorry, guys.
You're good.
Someone said Lewis's face like really, nigga. Oh god.
I would assume my face would be the meme points, not Mo's face.
I'm a meme on like every server I'm in, bro.
Yeah.
Mo gets flamed for a living, bro. I feel bad.
I really do. I just like pop in and be like, "What's up, guys? I hope your day is going good." Fuck you, Mo.
Literally, bro. Like you chat. It's crazy how this man gets.
I be laughing. I just be sitting there laughing. I'm never mad at it.
I'm just being a father.
I like how Ali is a meme too now.
I used it. I forgot what Cam said, but he said some dumb shit. I was like, I gotta use this, bro.
Which is normal.
Which one?
Her face is like, bro, you can't be serious. That's her face. She's like,
she's literally always looking at people like that, bro.
She's like this, bro. She's looking like this. And then I had to use it because Cam said some dumb shit. I'm like, bro, what's wrong with you? And then you sent the one, and then you sent the one when she was sleeping, and then like Cam was talking about Osprey, and I sent that picture.
You're
Like,
stupid.
stop
Cam
talking
Ugly
about
shit,
Osprey.
Like Cam ugly as shit or something.
Don't
Oh
sleep
my
on
God.
AEW, and it's just Aaliyah sleeping like this. Like, bro, I've been asleep, bro.
I'm gonna show her that one day, bro. I'm gonna show her that
I've
one
been
day.
Oh my
asleep.
god.
No, they do suck though. AEW does suck though.
She's serving
Oh
her
wow,
purpose.
suck.
Boy,
That's just not my
suck,
cup of tea.
boy.
That's why I don't watch them. But they suck now.
Boy, they suck, bro.
Nah, I told him to give me his account so I could watch the past 3 weeks of Dynamite and Collision.
Kobe.
Because I'm confused when I was at Collision. I'm asking Chris, I'm like, bro, why the fuck is Roderick Strong a face? And he's like, dude,
Is
so much shit happened. I'm like,
He is?
bro,
why?
fuck you.
Wait.
Hey, Chris, why'd he beat that match against Mortos? What the fuck was that? He was getting his ass beat the entire
Bro, 95% of the match, he was getting worked.
And then he hits a
the
knee, and then he beats him. I was like, bro, what is this? Bro?
Same thing with last night, bro. If y'all watch Dynamite, he was getting his ass kicked by Lance Archer, and then he hit a knee.
Lance Archer, oh man.
And now he's got a match at Full Gear with MJF.
Excuse me, I'm
What the
sorry.
fuck?
One, Mortos is that nigga. But two, the MJF Roderick Strong match, bro. I've been watching Dynamite week to week. I still don't know what the fuck going on, bro. I still don't know why it's Roddy and MJF.
Don't, bro. Bobby
and
Lashley will save us when he's champion. Don't worry.
Cook.
When Bobby Lashley becomes champion, he will save us. Don't worry. We got it.
I hope.
It's in motion. Okay?
Hey, if that happens, bro, I'm watching AEW.
Bro, it's in motion. I'll give it by Revolution. He will be champion.
Hey.
I'm going double enough.
I hope you're right.
You said double or nothing. Why are we waiting that long? Do we want to see a Moxley reign for that long? Who's? Oh no,
Nah.
Darby.
Wait, you think?
Darby.
Yeah,
Oh wait, doesn't Christian still have the chip?
Yeah, he does.
So it's like, oh, I can't wait. For
They
Christian.
could pull a Miz. They could have Christian get his ass kicked by Lashley.
Ooh, I mean, you could have Christian win.
I don't know, bro. I think Christian needs his flowers.
Nah, let Christian win and then lose it to Edge, bro. Let me dream. Let me
Who?
dream. Don't crush my dreams.
Who?
You know who?
Sky thing, bro.
Turn Christian
Edge
back.
and AEW,
Let me dream.
I'm not aware.
Oh my
Turn
god.
Christian back, maybe.
You know his
And
name.
Tony Khan, I'm gonna look at you.
I know
straight
Adam
face when I
Cole.
say this. Tony Khan, I'm gonna look at you to straight. Let me take my glasses off so you understand what the fuck I'm saying to you.
Uh-oh.
You bet not in your mind. In your mind.
He's about to say coke infested mind.
Yeah, in your coke infested mind, you bet not put Hook and Kip Sabian on fucking Full Gear, bro. I don't care if it's on the 0 hour or not. You better throw that shit on Rampage and call it a night. I swear to God, bro.
Bring up
If
the
you
sign
put Hook-
just for that potential.
Bro, I swear to God, bro.
I'm really thinking, where the
Kip
fuck is Christian
Sabian on
Goldman?
pay-per-view, bro? If you put Hook and Kip Sabian on pay-per-view, Tony Khan, I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna hurt you. I promise you. Do not.
Oh my
yo.
God.
Hey, don't put my channel on jeopardy.
No.
goddammit.
Don't do Hook and
God damn it.
Don't do Hook and Christian Cage on pay-per-view either. Put that shit on Dynamite and get it over with.
That don't sound
on
interesting for
pay-per-view?
pay-per-view. Yeah,
Ew.
Hook on pay-per-view. Why? Why are we doing this?
Fuck.
In 2024, bro. I remember when he first came out, niggas was gassing Hook. I'm like,
I'm not gonna
relax.
lie. I kind of was too. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Oh nah.
And I for some
I
reason,
never got it.
for some
never
reason,
got it.
bro, people were always drawing the comparisons to Dominic Mysterio and how Hook was so much better at the time. I swear, bro, I don't know.
I mean, it
Oh,
was
Chris, did
so
you
when he
add
first
to the
came in,
sign?
then I guess.
Chris, did you add to the sign
But what happened?
for Cam last night?
What
Because
do you
he
do?
called Zach Levine Snack Levine.
I care, bro.
Did he?
He did.
Zach Levine?
Do you want to see
Heard
the
of-
proof?
No,
You are so
not
lucky.
did he? No, not did he? Did he?
Did
What
he?
did
Oh,
you? Diddler. What's going on, bro?
I don't know how many lashes that is, but
Like
It's-
this meme is back.
Snack Levine.
Hey yo!
I don't know how many lashes
Someone
that
clip
is.
that little Chris shit
I
right
don't
there.
listen. I don't know how many lashes that is, but I assume it's a good
Infinite.
amount.
Someone said it was said hook, now it's said commercial.
Chat, how many lashes, Chad? Lash.
20.
Chat,
How many points did he have? How many points did he have?
Oh my goodness. let me see.
27.
27. 27.
Thinking about when Zach Levine and this. Thinking about when Zach Levine.
You called him Snack Levine, not Zach Levine.
All right, hold on.
Cam, you know that was gay, right? Cam, you know that was gay.
Yo,
Cam, you know that was gay,
Like I
right?
remember a couple years ago, Grant Williams was killing Milwaukee in that series, bro.
Actually, he had 31, Chris. He had 31.
Bro, like I remember.
Oh yeah, 31.
Grant Williams was cooking the Bucks in the playoffs. And Grant Williams was cooking
Bro,
the Bucks.
if you like this over Zach Levine, I hate to see you for Kelly Oubre. You must be really
Oh,
hey, all right. Next what if? Next what if? Because what the fuck?
Wait, whoa. I mean,
He just said Kelly Oubre is the sexiest man on earth, bro. What's his average? What's his average?
wait, bro. If you thought Kelly Oubre was bad, just wait until you find out about Sonny Kiss.
Kelly Oubre dropped 20. That's 20 lashes.
Hey.
Bro, I ain't saying nothing about Sonny Kiss, bro.
Hey, 20 lashes for the Kelly Oubre comment because he said Kelly Oubre the sexiest man alive.
I said the NBA.
Why? Why is this being said at all?
You double down? Did you just double down?
That 20, add another 20 on that, so 51 altogether.
Right.
You know,
51.
I'm not gonna give him 555. You know why? No,
550. Oh my goodness.
Why do you still have 2K20 installed? I don't understand.
I would destroy my
PS5. Cam, hold on, wait. Before
I try to replay it on my Xbox
before-
One. And my
before-
Xbox One works just fine. It didn't
I
work.
don't have any more. I don't have any more hours added to 2K20 because I can't play my PS4 because I need a new.
Like Cam,
So I haven't been able to play.
get a real game, bro. Get a real game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Defeat
Yeah.
the streak is undefeated.
Yeah, it's the Brian cover too, not that lousy ass dog shit cover we had before.
That same cover.
That Brian cover is so hard, bro.
Goated.
Who did he?
That's my cover.
Bro, just go, bro. Get it, bro. You gotta get it.
I have that. With the
You
exact
gotta
same
get
cover.
it, bro. You spent hella money on polos. Go get a PS3.
Hey man, PS3
Is it-
cheap nowadays.
Is
too.
it me? Is it me up next? What if?
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah, so
Yes,
my
sir.
thing is, what if CM Punk never left WWE, and my whole purpose is to rebuild him to a complete global phenomenon superstar? So, WrestleMania 29, he's beating Undertaker. I'm sorry, I'm pulling the trigger. He's defeating the streak. Yep. I don't give a fuck. He's beating
Hell
the streak.
no.
Shut your ass up. You like Ospreay. He's yeah, WrestleMania 29, he's beating the streak. Why is he beating the streak? Because
Whoa,
CM
okay.
Punk came off an L to my Via, and CM Punk is trying to figure out how he can get back to being on top, how he can get back to being the fucking pinnacle, to be in the center. And I think defeating the streak is a great way to do it. Ahmed, shut up, you're ugly. So I haven't beat the streak. I haven't done the full layout on how I want to go about it, how I get to point A to point B. So I'll have him end the streak, and then I'll have him win the next Royal Rumble instead of Batista. So I'm keeping the story between Bryan and Randy, but the reason I'm having CM Punk win the Royal Rumble is because Daniel Bryan has been able to beat CM Punk one-on-one. He has been able to beat Randy one-on-one. And those are two guys you can play into a story that he can finally beat in the main event of WrestleMania. So I would do the same route. Bryan beats Triple H and gets added to the triple threat, and Bryan wins. And then obviously we know Bryan has to give up the title. So at Money in the Bank, in that ladder match, instead of John Cena becoming undisputed champion, I'm throwing both belts on CM Punk. Where do we go from there? No fucking clue. Brock Lesnar probably. Who knows? But that's how I'd rebuild CM Punk.
Wait, because if oh fuck, we might not get Brock Lesnar in that situation, because if he doesn't beat the streak, what the fuck does he do at WrestleMania?
Oh my god.
Maybe
man.
just faces Taker just because, but like
I put him against Batista.
yeah, that's what I would have done if I was rebooking 30 anyway. But woo, that's a bold move to start it off. Oh man,
I put him against
that is
Batista.
a bold
The
one.
Animal versus the Beast. Who don't love that shit? It sounds great on paper.
That was a bold one. Now, two things I'll say about this. I think the rebooking's good. I think it's bold, and it's a good way to rebuild him from the dog shit to what they did with him and Rock. Oh man, First thing being, I personally would just never end the streak. That's me, right? I've explained why on numerous occasions why I would never break the streak. But
Are you on the hill that 28 was just a perfect ending?
that, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But if another thing was, if you're gonna end the streak, never bring back Taker. That's just me too. Oof. That's man. And have y'all seen the original card for WrestleMania 30? Had Punk not left?
Yeah, yeah.
Punk was supposed to be in Triple H. It was supposed to be against Triple H that year.
Was he?
And Brian was supposed to face Sheamus.
I bet Triple H beat him too, huh? I bet Triple H would beat him.
Probably.
He would have enjoyed that too.
He beat him at Night of Champions, right? Yeah, he'll beat him again.
That was so stupid. I would.
Again.
That's a what if I'm gonna dive in. Actually, if we have time, I'm gonna dive into after Cam is done.
I hate that match, but it has one of my
makes me
favorite.
mad.
I hate that match, but it has one of my favorite kickouts. CM Punk kicking out of the pedigree. That shit was fire.
Oh yeah. That was a great match. Just the finish. God.
Yeah, fuck that match. Lewis, what would be the main event of 29? You know what the fuck the main event of 29
I mean,
is,
it'd still be.
It ain't shit changing.
Cena would have won the Rumble anyway, and you know.
Ain't shit changing.
That's
Most
Here's
obvious
how-
Rumble
We
winner.
still going with Chris's idea, bro. Why whooping Cena ass next year, bro? We ain't changing
Here's
shit.
what
Cook.
Here's what I would have done with Punk if he would have stayed. You know, if he would have stayed, I would have. Right, if he
Cam,
would've
you look like a
stayed
gummy
before
bear,
we
bro.
Before we get to
You look like a gummy bear. Chad, you look like a gummy bear.
oh, God.
I'm a gummy bear. Yes, I'm a gummy bear.
I'm
I'm
tired of
a
you,
gummy funny looking gummy bear. I'm a jelly bear. I'm a gummy
But
Bring back bullying, yo.
what I would have done.
Lewis, you need your ass beat, bro.
Gummy,
I
gummy,
swear to
gummy,
God.
gummy, gummy bear.
What I would have liked to see done with Punk.
Mm-hmm.
This is I'm putting this before the walkout in 2014. I think Punk. To be honest with you, I would have done Punk and Orton that Survivor Series. Instead
Hey,
of them doing
bitches in the
Punk.
chat. Nobody flames Cam but me. That's my right. That ain't your right. Stop that shit. That's my right. I'm the only one that can do that. Y'all better relax before I get on all y'all.
Sure,
And all y'all been on camera too. So I'll go back and find a pic of y'all and flame y'all. Don't flame Cam. That's my
God, my
job.
stomach hurts.
Take my
Oh,
flame Mo. That's the guy y'all can beat. Flame
Why?
him. Don't flame Cam. That's my job.
But,
I'm a father. Don't do this.
I
No.
think, but nah.
He said no.
No.
But
That's
what
you
I
know.
would've done is- what I would've done is
Go ahead,
I
Cam.
would've
My
done
fault.
I would have done Punk and Orton at Survivor Series that year, so I'm doing Randy Orton and fucking Big Show. I would have done Punk and Orton that year with Punk winning the title. You have Bryan win the Rumble, and then you build the WrestleMania 30. Punk Bryan in the main event.
So why don't you have Rey Mysterio win?
Hell no.
He said hell no.
Bro, speaking of bro, I'm glad you brought that up though. Speaking of Rey Mysterio in that Rumble,
Was he supposed to win a
Tommy
second
Dreamer
one?
had a
Don't
great-
tell me.
Bro, Tommy Dreamer had a great fucking. Bro, Tommy Dreamer had like a great fucking idea, but like it would have been like very impossible to like pull it off. But like he had a great idea. He was like, "What if you go back to like the 2014 Rumble and like number 30? You know, like it's Rey Mysterio. Obviously, he comes out. You know, it's a Rey Mysterio. Obviously, he comes out, but like it's not Rey Mysterio. Like under the like he takes the mask off mid match and it reveals himself to be Daniel Bryan, like wearing the Rey Mysterio mask." Like Tommy Dreamer had that idea. I was like, I like it, but like that would have been very hard to pull off with
And
like
convoluted.
tattoos and shit.
I'd love to see Dominic do that though.
That would be comedy gold. That's what he kind of did in 2023. He came out with the mask.
I'd love for Dominic to do that shit. Love for that.
That's
But nah.
man.
But he had that idea
that's
for
convoluted.
he had that idea for Daniel Bryan. Anyway, I would have had Punk beat Orton for the title, and you do Punk and Bryan at Survivor Series, not Survivor Series, but you build the Punk and Bryan at WrestleMania. That's what I would have done.
Cook, I agree.
The most
But-
indie-rific WrestleMania main event of
That
all
would've
time.
been- that- bro.
We'd love to see it. We'd love to see it. That would have cooked too. If they just let them go for like 25 minutes.
25, 30 minutes, bro. We're talking about one of the greatest in-ring WrestleMania main events of all time.
Of all time. Mania
Bro.
30, bro. They could have booked Mania
Oh,
30 so much better.
Could you imagine the promos, bro?
By the way, I would have done Punk and Cena at TLC that year because I still want to unify them fucking titles. That World Heavyweight title had to go. 2013, that shit had to go.
No, you really hate titles being unified, eh?
2013, that shit had to go. That shit had to go. Ma, don't look at me like that. Ma, don't look at me like that.
I hear you, but I've always hated the one title thing, especially when they literally just did the brand split like 2 years later. It's like, all right, bro, like why'd you deactivate the world title anyway? But I get what you're saying. I hear you.
Yeah. So I would have done Punk and Cena and TLC that year with Punk winning the unifying the title because that World Heavyweight title had to go. And then I would have had Bryan win the Rumble and like because I played this out in like 2K14 or like story designer because like one of the things I did was at the Rumble I would have had Punk defend the WWE Championship against Dean Ambrose. Against Dean Ambrose at like the Rumble that year, and like that leads to like the impetus of like the Shield having like a 3-way at Mania. But that's just me. But
This would have been. I'm gonna let Cam do his what if after I say this. This would have been my WrestleMania 30 card. If they just wanted to use their brains, right, and simplify shit.
all the niggas had to do.
Batista, Brock, Cena, Taker,
Yep.
Brian Orton,
Yep.
Shield Wyatts. That's all you had to do, and you would have had an all-timer WrestleMania. And the conversation of that some people like to have that WrestleMania 30 is top 3 would have actually been valid.
I hate that we never got Brock and Batista, bro. I hate that we never got
Mo just
so
dropped a
weird.
nuke, bro. He just dropped a nuke.
That's so weird to me.
Could you imagine?
They just never did Brock and Batista. Like, why? They were right there. Especially when Batista, like, okay, the story you could have easily told. Because I'm not gonna pretend like I had that idea. I'm gonna give the credit to the person. I saw this in a rebooking video from Adam Blumpia years ago. His story was how Batista came in and he was talking about what happened to this business. Oh, we got all these little guys running around, right? Let's say he destroys a little guy at Elimination Chamber, say Dolph Ziggler. And then you have Brock come out and be like, and Batista could be like, oh, a real man. And then you build the story from there. 2 big motherfuckers at WrestleMania. Simple as that. But, they wanted to make shit complicated.
I miss Batista on WWE television, bro. Batista has
Me too.
Bro, that man Batista has some swag on him.
I'm going to be honest.
Batista wasn't appreciated till he retired.
I'm one of those people. I didn't appreciate Batista until he was gone. I really didn't. Even as a kid, I was always Cena, Jeff, Triple H, Shawn. Batista was like cool, but he's over there. I even liked 09 Randy more than I liked Batista.
I miss Batista so much, man.
I regret that so much because looking back as an adult, I'm like, damn, Batista was like that, bro.
Kissing babies with bro, Hollywood Batista is kissing babies with a hugging fat girl. Oh, yeah.
See, William cooking right here. He's cooking right here. Street fight, Shield Wyatts. Oh my god. A Shield Wyatt street fight would have went crazy.
Yeah, but we got something similar to that though. We got
shut the fuck up.
What? What's he about to bring up?
We got Hurt Business and Final Testament, bro.
Get the sign. Get the sign.
No.
No. You couldn't. No. You don't get no more passes. You don't get no more passes.
Wow.
You don't get no more passes.
A rare sign for Lewis. Wow.
Oh, fuck. But wait, he followed. Hold on. He followed Nate on TikTok. I'm valid. Hold on.
Oh yeah, he did follow Nate. We gotta give him.
He followed
a
Nate
small
on
pass.
Twitter. I'm valid, bro. Karen Cross is over. Y'all sleep.
We gotta get okay. All right.
I'm a cross fan.
No, let's not push it.
You over. Y'all playing, bro. Nate gonna do wonders for his career. Watch this, bro.
Oh my goodness. All right, Cam, go ahead.
Nate gonna get him over.
All right, for the last what if that I have.
Make it good, Cam.
We go to the year 2018. Right? We go to the year 2018.
That's a horrible time. You want to do that?
Shut up. You shut up.
It's not WWE. He told me this one.
No, we go to the year 2018. Actually, let's take that back. Let's go back to the year 2017 real quick. There was a tweet posted online to Dave Meltzer. I know Lewis don't like Meltzer. There was a tweet posted online to Dave Meltzer. And the tweet was the person asked, could a non-WWE show could a non-WWE promotion get 10,000 people in the building? Dave Meltzer said, not anytime soon. Cody saw this, quote tweeted and said, "Give me in the Bucks 3 months to give me in the Bucks 3 months to promote it, then we'll have 10,000 people in this stadium." Fast forward a year, all in 2021, all in 2018. The big non-WWE show, Chicago, Illinois, over 10,000 people in attendance. I bring this up because there's a very rich man in attendance that night. Mr. Tony Khan was in the front row of that show. All in was what convinced Tony Khan that there's a market for people, there's a market for a non-WWE wrestling promotion. There's a market for it. The Jericho stuff with New Japan was kind of the impetus for it. You know, when he went the Wrestle Kingdom to work with Omega, that was the impetus for it. And this here was like the thing that made Tony Khan go, okay, there's actually a legitimate audience for this. So my what if is, what if All In 2018 never happens? What happens to the ring? What happens to the
Ring of Honor would never die.
Does AEW does AEW happen? Does Ring of Honor? When does AEW happen? Does Ring of Honor die? Do they go out of business? Does Ring of Honor die? Does Ring of Honor still die? Does Cody Rhodes, without AEW, does he come back to WWE to take over? Does he come back to WWE and is made the face of the company damn near?
We got to look at we got to look at this.
If All In never happens?
We got to look at this butterfly effect, gang. Because before All In happened, Ring of Honor in 2018 was hella peak. New Japan in 2018 was hella peak. Both had stacked, insane rosters, and both companies had a phenomenal working relationship and often sent guys back and forth, yada, yada, yada. When AEW comes along, they took a lot of the Ring of Honor guys because, you know, the top guys in Ring of Honor, Cody, the Bucks, everybody, Hangman, went to AEW. They started AEW, left Ring of Honor gutted to the point where Ring of Honor eventually got gutted, where Ring of Honor eventually got bought by AEW. And then we look at New Japan. New Japan over time got gutted too. Over time, they lost Kenny to AEW in the very beginning. Over time, they lost Jay White to AEW. Over time, they lost Okada to AEW. Over time, they lost Will Ospreay to AEW.
Yep.
These ain't regular schmegular guys that we talking about. These ain't guys in the mid card. These are guys that were highly acclaimed in New Japan. They took 4 of their top world champions in the past decade. From that's really unheard of for another company to do. Kenny, Okada, Jay White, Ospreay. 4 guys, and they took them at their peak. Well, not Okada at his peak, but Okada was coming off of a world title run when he went to AEW.
Okada was still the man now.
He was still the man over there. He was still the face of the company. So for them to gut New Japan like that was crazy. So not only do they have a working relationship with New Japan, but intentionally or unintentionally, they're taking their guys way over time. And it's not only the main event scene that they gutted. Like, they took Juice Robinson. You know, they took fucking Juice Robinson. They took Moxley because Moxley was doing work in New Japan before AEW.
Yep.
So they were doing a lot. They took a lot.
Speaking of AEW not existing,
took Aussie Open.
Speaking of AEW not existing, what does John Moxley do? I think Moxley would have left anyway. I think Moxley was out the door anyway.
Yeah, he literally said even.
I think Moxley stays in New. Moxley floats over the Indies and he probably signs a contract with New Japan.
Bro, yep. I think we're forgetting the elephant in the room here. If All In doesn't happen and AEW isn't born, bro, do we even see CM Punk ever again wrestle?
Man! I didn't even think about Punk. Holy shit! Yeah.
And also think about the stars AEW has been able to create. Like Hangman was not seen as a world champion until AEW came along. Swerve was not seen as a main event world champion until AEW came along. Like Darby Allin was floating over on Defy before AEW happened. Orange Cassidy was wrestling primarily on the East Coast with Beyond Wrestling before AEW happened. Like a lot of the guys we see now, like, does Christian come back to wrestling full time if there's no AEW? Yeah.
Yeah, probably WWE. Yeah.
Goes back to Impact, bro.
Or that, yeah.
I think WWE probably locks him down. But like, I think they, but like,
I think
speaking of,
Christian
like,
was just done with them anyway.
But like, speaking of like the Christian thing, but the Christian one, like the Christian AEW thing, still shocks me to this day because like I remember because he made like his return to the Rumble or whatever. Like it wasn't a thing where he was just in the Rumble for like a cup of coffee and then got dumped out. Now Christian was in there for like a good little while. And then like when Tony Khan was like, we're gonna have a brand new signing with AEW, whatever. People kept saying, it's Christian. Oh, Christian's coming to AEW. Christian's coming to AEW. I was thinking to myself, like, I don't think, like, it's not Christian coming to AEW. They're like, well, what you mean, man? Well, because one, isn't Christian under like a Legends feud with WWE? And I'm like, two, they cleared Christian and let him back. Like, they cleared Christian and had him in the Rumble. I was like, I don't think they're doing that with Christian if that man is not locked down to like a WWE contract. And then that man walked out on Revolution. I'm like, what? I'm like, wow, I was wrong. So like,
Here's another butterfly effect that people should know about. So if I remember correctly, around this was pandemic. This was around the pandemic, so Ring of Honor is slowly dying, and Ring of Honor still has an elite roster at around this time. So I mean, they still have the Briscoes under contract. They still have Jay Lethal under contract. They still have Rouge, Gresham, Josh Woods when he was still viable, Rhett Titus. So they still had like Taven, Bennett, OGK. Like they still had a deep roster. I think we all know Tony bought them for their roster to bring in more people and whatnot. But if AEW doesn't exist, and this is where I say a butterfly effect comes in, because in the pandemic, Samoa Joe was pushing for WWE to buy the Ring of Honor library. Samoa Joe himself said that during the pandemic he was pushing for WWE to buy Ring of Honor, and WWE didn't do it, and AEW did. So a butterfly effect I have is, in an alternate universe, WWE ends up saying "fuck it," we'll buy the library, and Ring of Honor is completely dead.
Man,
whoa!
And they just have this whole influx of talent.
He was really pushing for it. He was really pushing for it, and they said Vince was like, "No, I don't know what happened with it, but yeah."
Damn.
Wow.
And I seen some Matt Thunder in the chat say, "Does the Elite go to WWE if AEW doesn't exist?" Probably a couple of them.
I don't think so.
I think
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I think I don't think the Bucks were ever going to WWE.
No.
But like the one thing I wonder though is Kenny, because I think Kenny probably would have took that chance. I think
Kenny's always down to do business. It seems.
There's
especially with how they pushed AJ, they probably pushed Kenny the same.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I have two what ifs, and they both involve the Briscoes. So a long fucking time ago, the Briscoes had a tryout with WWE, and they aced a tryout. The reason they didn't get signed was because John Laurinaitis said they were too ugly for television.
Fuck Johnny A.
That's why he didn't sign them. On the second time that the WWE was talking to the Briscoes, Jay Briscoe confirmed that WWE gave him contracts, but only for NXT. And the Briscoes were like, we're literally first ballot Hall of Famers here. No disrespect to people in NXT, but we're main roster talent, and fell flat. What if WWE just met the Briscoes halfway? How insane? How would the landscape have changed in WWE? You would have had the Briscoes a New Day rivalry, because that was when the Usos and the New Day's rivalry was at the peak. So what if you would have had the Briscoes and New Day? What if you would have had the Briscoes and the Usos?
And the Briscoes' legacy would have been a lot bigger because a lot more people would know them, and they'd be higher up on these all-time rankings. I think they already are a top 10 tag team of all time, but like they would be higher up on these rankings if they got a WWE run.
Connor, the Jay Briscoe tweets, the only people that held that against them was Warner Media. Like WWE didn't give a shit about
Gives
that.
a fuck.
They've hired people for less.
They had Vince McDiddy running the show. They didn't give a fuck.
They had Vince.
They didn't give a fuck.
That wouldn't be the reason. Like they were literally offered max NXT deals, and they said no.
See.
But like, what if
That's
they
crazy.
what if they were to meet him halfway? First, if you would have gotten the Briscoes young, because at that time, when they tried out for WWE, they were already like 6-time Ring of Honor Tag Team champs, so they already ran the scene. So what if you would have did? What if you would have signed them in like 2011, 2012, and build around them and the Usos?
Yeah.
What if Jay Lethal gone to WWE?
That would have helped the tag division like crazy.
Speaking of tag teams
He
going
probably
to
would have got lost in the shuffle. I'm not gonna lie.
Speaking of tag teams going to WWE, what did WWE sign the Wolves? Y'all remember the Wolves, right?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did they have a chance to go?
They
I
had
don't know.
they had a try. I remember this vividly. I don't know if it was taped or not, but like I think on NXT 2013, if you go on Peacock, you can find it. They did the Wolves and the Ascension, I think, on like NXT television. And like the Wolves came out, they got like a great reaction and everything, but WWE didn't sign them. But WWE didn't sign them because I think this came from like the period where because like they go through this every now and then, where like because they go through this every now and then, where like they stop like hiring like indie guys for a bit, for a bit because like it's like we have too many guys like them already. So like I think that was one of the things that fucked them over. But like yeah, like they had like a tryout. 'Cause I vividly remember. If you go on YouTube right now, I think you'll find it. Like I swear, I swear, because a wrestling podcast that I listened to, he was active around 2013, and from one of the NXT reviews he did, he talking about the Wolves and the Ascension on NXT. So like I know for a fact that it happened. I know for a fact that it happened. So like
Hmm.
yeah,
I
like
don't even
that's
remember
what,
hearing about that match in general. That's crazy.
Nah,
but like.
never.
No, but like that hiring freeze fucked over a lot of people because like if y'all know who Kobe Carino is,
Yeah.
Kobe Carino literally had like a WWE contract offered to him and everything. He was good. And he's like signed it and everything, but like he never got brought in because they went through a hiring freeze. So like they're like, yeah, nah,
You,
we can't bring
you know
you
what's
in.
you know what's crazy
That's crazy.
in the time frame where NXT was really hot from 2017 to 19. NXT gained a lot of talent, but they also missed out on a lot of talent because a big reason why people didn't want to go to NXT because they knew like you're not in NXT forever. Like if your name was not Gargano, Ciampa, or Cole, you're not there forever. And people knew once you got to the main roster, Vince McDiddy was gonna get his hands on you, and it was reps. So they missed out on a lot of fucking people. Like I remember Santana and Ortiz. Santana confirmed it that they had an offer to go to
Oh
WWE
yeah.
in 2019, but but Triple H told them that you guys are only going to be in NXT for like a year, and then you're going to go to the main roster. Like you're gonna put fucking LAX on the main roster, bro? What the fuck? We been here for like 3 years. They can't be there for like 3 years.
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
Sick work.
Now there is before we get out of here because we've run through our hot takes or not hot takes. Jeez, I keep saying hot takes. What ifs?
You're good. Don't worry about
There is one what if that's been on my mind. It's surrounding a guy we've brought up a couple times now. CM Punk.
Mm.
What if the summer of Punk was done correctly?
Mm.
What if CM Punk actually stayed away after Money in the Bank 2011?
it.
Here's kind of like what I think they should have done, not what I think would have happened, what I think they should have done. Put the focus on the other world title you have on your fucking show. The World Heavyweight Championship. Bring back some importance to the World Heavyweight title. Make that the main title in the company. Have Del Rio and Bryan fighting over, okay, who can cash in on this fucking belt?
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. When it comes to that big gold world title, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. That big gold world title, WWE didn't give a shit about it. Like,
after some point, it was like, all right.
Like, WWE did not give a shit about that big gold world title. That's why Swagger got it. That's why Ray got it. That's why Swagger got it. That's why Ray got it. That's why Punk got it. That's why Punk got it. They didn't care about that world title. They didn't.
By 2010, that was truly a secondary title. By 2010, it was truly secondary. Like I'm trying to think, when was the last time besides TLC 2013, when was the last time the World Heavyweight Championship main evented a pay-per-view?
Wow.
It was a
I don't think they main evented at all in 2011.
nope 2011 they wouldn't main event of it all.
I don't think Sheamus main
would have
evented
been
at all in 2012.
2012 would have been a no. They opened most pay-per-views in 2012. They opened the show.
With the world
They
title, yeah.
opened they opened No Way
WrestleMania,
Out
bro.
with it.
Wow. That's pathetic.
2012.
Wow.
In 2012 they would have had like 13. They definitely no pay-per-views.
That's insane to me, bro. Big
So Matt
Gold
Thunder
only.
just confirmed it. Kane versus Taker Hell in a Cell was wow. Wow. See, that's what I'm saying. You could have taken the Summer of Punk as an opportunity to rebuild the World Heavyweight title while Punk was away. You didn't have to send him to other promotions if you really didn't want to work with other promotions, but keep him off TV.
Yes.
Even for a few months, at least till the Rumble.
Yes.
At least till the Rumble, keep him off TV. It would have made the world title feel more important. You had the interesting aspect of Del Rio with imagine interesting and Del Rio in the same sentence, but like you could have had that interesting story. Like I seen someone rebook it where it's like Daniel Bryan cashes in on the world title, then Del Rio, because there's no other world title to cash in on, cashes in on that title as well. I'm like, that works too. That works too, but nope, they just decided, nah, let's just bring Punk back and ruin this whole thing.
I don't understand why they brought that man back 8 days later. I don't.
8 days. They couldn't even wait, bro. They could have had Cena and Ray at SummerSlam or something, and then had Punk come out after that. Even that would have been a little bit more okay than what they did.
Y'all
remember
when John Cena got fired in 2010 and that man ain't missed a single episode or all?
Not one.
That man got fired in 2010, kayfabe, and he ain't missed a single week of television. That man was on the show the very next week.
I have always said, as a John Cena fanboy, I have always said 2010 John Cena is fucking insufferable. Orange shirt to purple shirt John Cena is the most insufferable time of his career.
Yes.
It's so, even in 2010 as a kid, I was like, can I get Jeff back, please? Like, what is this goof doing, bro? Like, please. Like, you built Survivor Series around the fact that if John Cena doesn't do the thing he's supposed to do, he gets fired, just to have him back the same night.
That man got fired. Ain't missed a single week of television.
You could have had Juan Cena on TV, no, but you kept him on the house shows.
I mean, I remember Juan Cena
on the fucking house shows.
Shout out to wrestler. Shout out to Brian Zane, wrestler. We're great. He brought up a great point. He was like, "How do these people go about getting hired?" He was like, "How do these people go about getting hired with like the mask and everything?" Because he brought up. He was like, "Hey, you have the same physical characteristics and attributes as this guy we just fired. What a coincidence!" Oh my God.
Brian Zane. If y'all don't watch Brian Zane, Wrestling with Regret on YouTube, bro, tap in. One of the best wrestling creators of all time. Genuinely,
bro, that man is comedy, bro.
He is hilarious. He's insightful. I fuck with his work.
Bro, that man is comedy, bro. I learned so much about the vacant WCW title. What a shit show that was in 2000.
That one video, I was like, oh, nah. Bro, the WCW title changed hands or got vacated 25 times in 1 year. 25 times. In 1
Yes. Oh, my God, bro. Bro,
including Vince Russo himself as WCW champion.
Because he got a concussion. Because Russo got a concussion when Goldberg, because he got a concussion the night he won the title. The night because they did Russo and Booker T in that fucking Hell in a Cell match that WCW had. They did Russo and Booker T there, and Goldberg speared Vince Russo through the cell, which is how Russo won the WCW title. Goldberg spears Russo through the cell, and on that spot, Russo suffers a concussion. So he vacates the WCW. So he vacates the WCW title.
Wait, so that's why so you mean to tell me he would have been champion longer had he not got a concussion?
That part I don't know. I know he got a concussion.
Why do I believe he would have?
Gave him a concussion.
Why do I believe he would have?
He probably would have.
I mean, he let David Arquette do it for what, 2 weeks?
Bruh, oh my God. Bro, he put the WCW title on David Arquette. And to be fair to David Arquette did not want to do it because David Arquette has a brain. David Arquette's a wrestling fan. David Arquette has a brain, and David Arquette's like, "No, I'm not doing that shit." It's
Oh
not,
my
he's like, "No, I'm not
God.
doing that shit." And then Tony Schiavone got it, and then Tony Schiavone told David Arquette, "Hey, do it. Why not? Hey, do it. Why not? It'll be great. It'll be great publicity. Do it." And that's what convinced David Arquette. They go, "Okay, I'll win the world title tonight." But David Arquette, David Arquette originally say, "I'm not doing that shit." 'Cause that man had a brain.
Asinine. And it there was WCW dying was just inevitable. It was just inevitable, bro. Like
Bruh,
man.
Bro, I don't understand how Dixie Carter saw Vince Russo. How Dixie Carter saw Vince Russo work in the shit he did in WCW 2000, and then came around years later in TNA and gave that man a job to be his
Bro,
head.
because she
to be
wanted to
her
see
head
a reverse
person.
battle royal. She wanted a
Bro,
reverse battle.
I don't understand it, bro. I don't understand it, bro. I don't like. I don't understand it. And then still, Spike TV went to Dixie Carter and they told Dixie, bro, we don't want Vince Russo, right? Bro, we don't want Vince Russo working for TNA no more. We don't want this man working for the television show. Where we don't
That's
want this man working for
crazy.
your company no more. And Dixie Carter's like, okay, sure. And then Vince Russo, bro, and then they were doing it, and then she was doing it anyway. Went behind TNA. Went behind Spike's back, was doing it anyway. Vince Russo, this would have been 2014. Vince Russo sent some creative plan. Vince Russo, he's supposed to send some creative plans to Mike Tenay, but Vince Russo don't know how to send an email, so he sends it to Mike Johnson, a PW Insider, and Mike Johnson, a PW Insider, and this is Mike Johnson is trying to originally go, is this true? Is this true? Is this true? And then Mike Johnson got his sources or whatever. Mike Johnson was like, ah, shit, I got a new scoop. Vince Russo still
Oh,
working for
William,
TNA,
you don't know what a reverse battle royal is?
and that moment right there is what made Spike TV kick TNA off television. Was like, okay,
That's what
y'all
did
got
it?
to go. It was Vince Russo still working for TNA. That's what got TNA
Wow.
kicked off. That's what got TNA kicked off Spike TV. It was that. It was that right there. Because Russo, he sent an email of creative plans to Mike Tenay. That's what he was supposed to do. But Vince Russo didn't fact check. He didn't spell check or whatever. So he sends it instead to Mike Johnson, the PW Insider, by mistake. And Mike Johnson checks with whatever sources he has. He runs the story. The shit becomes public. And then Spike TV's like, okay, yeah, y'all got to get the fuck up off my network. Like, yeah, y'all got to get the fuck off my network. TNA would probably still be on Spike TV, and it had it not been for Vince Russo.
So, William, what the fuck is a reverse battle royal? All I'm gonna say is stay plugged in with the channel because I'm diving into that. By the way, Lewis, I'm gonna ask you because you're a TNA fan. How do you feel about the King of the Mountain match?
That shit is one of the worst matches I've ever seen in my life.
Thank God.
That
Because I've
shit
asked
is
other
crazy.
TNA diehards and they love it, and I'm like, why?
Why am I going through all this trouble to hang a belt?
Just to take it back down.
Why?
Like,
Jeff
just do
Jarrett,
a ladder match.
Jeff Jarrett, cut the shit, bro.
Just do a ladder match.
King of the Mountain. I don't even.
God.
Do we wrestle on a mountain?
King of the
Maybe it's King of the Mountain. Maybe we wrestle.
And then they ran a Queen of the Mountain, bro. Fuck's sake.
King of the Mountain was bad. Reverse Battle Royal was bad. Beast of Fire was bad.
And then they called it the King of the Mountain title. Like, I don't want to defend this shit.
That's embarrassing. Why'd I win this?
Oh my God.
Honestly, there's a lot of titles that they made was trash. Like the Impact Grand Championship is exactly the Heritage Cup. That shit was ass.
Oh, okay.
The TNA Legacy title where Legends were able to win it.
Yeah.
That shit was trash. Why? And then the King of the Mountain title, that shit was trash. Why? And then they rebranded it to the television title, and I was like, all right, that's great. Finally, cool. But that shit didn't even last long either.
The reverse battle royal has got to be the most mind-numbing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Didn't they have Eric Young hold the King of the? Didn't they have Eric Young hold the TNA Knockout Tag Team titles? Like, wasn't it
Yes,
TNA
with
Knockout Tag Team?
ODB, bro. That shit was crazy.
Wait, EY?
Yeah, him
Yeah.
and ODB were Knockouts Tag Team Champions.
That might be worse than Harvey Whippleman as women's champion. That might
Bro,
be worse.
you had a grown man holding a woman's
Oh, I
title.
did hear about this. Oh my god, what the fuck?
EY has such a weird career.
And they tried a Daniel Bryan thing with him. Oh my god, like
Yeah,
literally
having
right in
beat
the same time.
Magnus.
Bro.
Yeah,
They
right in
had
the
him
same
beat
time.
Magnus. That shit was crazy.
For damn near a year.
That shit-
Oh my god, TNA. God,
Lewis, did you like Brooke Hogan in TNA?
Did I like Hulk Hogan?
I said
Brooke
Brooke
Hogan.
Hogan.
I mean, nah, I didn't care for Walmart Cameron Brink. I didn't care.
That's where we
I
end the
didn't
show,
care.
y'all. Football
I didn't care for
started.
Walmart. I didn't care for Walmart Cameron Brink.
That is diabolical. Chat. Make sure you like up the stream if you're here live. If you're not, like up if you're here watching later. These what ifs were great though. A lot of good what ifs. A lot of like things I hadn't thought about in a long ass time. And I'm glad we had like outside WWE representation too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this was a fun episode. Guys, y'all have anything to say?
Just appreciate the support. Pull up to the watch alongs Monday through Friday. Tomorrow for
Got a
SmackDown.
retro
Make sure y'all
one?
pull up.
Got a wrestle one coming up soon.
Yes. This
This
Saturday, right? Yeah.
This Saturday and potentially next Saturday.
Yeah. We just gotta
We're doing
work out a
Survivor.
time.
We're doing Survivor Series 2002, and then next Saturday, folks. Next Saturday, folks, we do something that is near and dear to my heart. We are doing Survivor Series 1996, where
Top 5.
where Psycho Sid wins the WWE Championship from Shawn Michaels. Yes.
All right, I won't
Yes.
slander a dead man. I'll leave it alone. I'm not gonna.
Come
I'm not
on.
gonna slander a dead man. I'm not gonna do it.
No, look at bro. Don't even cut, bro. You know that entrance at Survivor Series '96 for Sid.
That was aura. I'm not gonna lie. That was aura.
You know that entrance went hard as hell. That was aura right
That
there,
was. He was over there just.
Bro, he comes out, bro, just bumping the crowd, going, "Who's the man?" They're yelling, "Sid, Sid, Sid." Come on now.
They really cheered him over Shawn Michaels. Jesus Christ. But we'll look at it when the watch along happens. Chat, next week we are doing WWE Jeopardy, but different from this is part 2, so different from last time how we did it. This time we'll have teams. So we'll have some guests on the show. Who those guests are, we'll still hammering all that out. So
Chris, we'll give you the good people. We'll give you the good people.
Damn, just throwing Chris under the bus.
No. Because I told him this off camera. I'm like, bro, I'm handicapped. I'm easily.
Spoiler alert.
Knowledge.
Spoiler alert for next week's episode. I'm trying my very best to get my homie Keegan on the show, and if we get Keegan on the show, I'm throwing Keegan on Chris T. But that's probably gonna be raps. That man is a nerd, but it's probably gonna be rap source anyway. But I'm gonna get.
Y'all lucky I'm not competing. I'm making the questions. So no, I will not be on the team. I will be hosting. So, all right, y'all. We appreciate y'all, chat. Y'all be safe. You have a good one. Anything else?
Bring back bullying.
Yay.
Yeah.